huku baadhi ya magari yakikwama baada ya kuishiwa na mafuta.
Waziri wa Kawi Opiyo Wandayi amesema hali hiyo imesababishwa na hitilafu kwenye mfumo wa usambazaji. Alan Aoko anatufungulia taarifa zetu kwa ripoti hiyo.
Hii ndiyo taswira ambayo imekuwa ikishuhudiwa jijini Nairobi na katika maeneo mengine ya nchi. Wenye magari wakisononeka kwenye vituo vya mafuta ambako wamelazimika kusubiri kwa muda mrefu kupata bidhaa hiyo. Hali hii imekuwa ikitokota katika muda wa juma moja lililopita, huku kukatizwa kwa usambazaji mafuta kukiathiri vituo vingi vya uuzaji. Takwimu za halmashauri ya kudhibiti kawi na petroli zinaashiria kwamba taifa hili hutumia takriban lita milioni 15.4 za mafuta kila siku, lita milioni 9.1 zikiwa za dizeli ambayo hutegemewa zaidi na magari ya uchukuzi wa umma, malori na mashine viwandani. Lita 6.3 za petroli hutumiwa kila siku, hususan na magari ya kibinafsi na pikipiki.
Sababu hatuna mafuta, unaenda kwa petrol station like yesterday, nimeshinda huko Wayaki way yote. Mafuta ilikuwa inapatikana huko Westland Ola peke yake.
Ishi ya mafuta imekuwa ngumu sana, unapata unazunguka kama sasa hivi tumeingia petrol station kama 3.
Leo hapa unajua kuna shida kidogo, mafuta yako kwa upungufu sana. Ukuje kwa wingi kama hapo nyingi.
Hata hivyo, serikali imepuzilia mbali hofu ya uhaba wa mafuta, ikisisitiza yapo mafuta ya kutosha.
We have got adequate fuel supplies in the pipeline system, Honorable Speaker. All the products, petrol, diesel, kerosene, jet fuel, Honorable Speaker.
Akijibu maswali ya maseneta, waziri wa Kawi Opiyo Wandayi amesema serikali inashauriana na wauzaji mafuta na kampuni ya mabomba ya usafirishaji mafuta Kenya Pipeline.
I just want to appeal to Kenyans to be patient and to bear with us as we address some of these small hitches.
Haya yanawadia huku wahudumu wa afya ya umma wakitahadharisha uwezekano wa mzozo wa kiafya kutokana na viwango vya juu ya sulfur kwenye mafuta yanayotumiwa humu nchini.
The presence of sulfur in anything can cause a lot of health issues. Like I've said, the issue to do with the upper respiratory inspections and also the issue to do with the pollution.
Agizo hilo litatekelezwa kwa muda wa miezi 6 kwa mafuta ya petroli na dizeli. Linalengwa kukabiliana na tatizo la uhaba wa mafuta, licha ya hofu kwamba huenda likasababisha ongezeko la magonjwa kupumua.
Na mtazamaji, taarifa hiyo ilikuwa imeandaliwa na Alan Aoko na kutoa sauti na Khalid Abdullahi. Karibu
Khalid kwenye kazi. Amekuwa akipumzika
likizo,
akafikiri hata rudi. Karibu kwenye kazi Khalid. Lakini mtazamaji, kwingineko ni kwamba Naibu Rais Kithure Kindiki amewahakikishia wakazi wa kaunti ya Kitui kwamba serikali imeimarisha usalama kufuatia mauaji yaliyotokea katika maeneo ya Seikuru na Kathungu.
Haya yanajiri baada ya watu 7 kuuawa na watu wanaodaiwa kuwa wafugaji wa ngamia na wengine 8 kuuawa kwenye mashambulizi ya kulipiza kisasi katika mzozo kwenye mpaka wa Garissa na Kitui.
Mtazamaji, aidha mwanafunzi wa gredi ya 7 aliuawa kwa kukatwa na kisu chenye makali katika eneo la Kathungu, maeneo ya Kitui, tukio hilo likidaiwa kuhusishwa na wafugaji hao wa ngamia.
Akizungumza leo baada ya kuhudhuria kongamano la 3 la kila mwaka la halmashauri ya mashirika ya udhibiti katika chuo kikuu cha South Eastern Kenya, kaunti ya Kitui, Naibu Rais Kithure Kindiki amesema suluhisho la kudumu kwa mzozo huo linaweza kupatikana.
I want to give the assurance to the people of Kitui that we will return normalcy and sustain normalcy. It is barbaric for citizens to kill one another for whatever reason. We are taking every effort to make sure that those who are responsible for the death of quite a number of Kenyans, we take action.
Aidha amesema tukio hilo lilitokana na uhalifu wanaotumia mzozo huo unaohusiana na mali asili kwa shambulia wa Kenya wasio na hatia.
And I don't think anybody has a right to graze another person's crops to save their livestock from death. As much as saving livestock from death is a legitimate objective, it cannot be used as a basis of violating the property rights of other people.
Kindiki ameonya kuwa yeyote atakayehusika katika mzozo huo, awe kiongozi wa kisiasa au afisa wa serikali, hatasamehewa.
Even between there is a political leader or a member of government who is involved, that should not be a difficult thing, because crime is just crime.
Vilevile ameahidi kuwa mashirika yote ya usalama yako macho kuzuia kujiri tena kwa mashambulizi hayo yaliyosababisha vifo vya watu 15, akiwemo mwanafunzi wa gredi ya 7 mwenye umri wa miaka 14. Giverson Maana, Darubini.
Na kwingineko, kampeni mpya ya kukabiliana na ongezeko la magonjwa yanayotokana na mtindo wa maisha nchini imezinduliwa katika kaunti ya Nairobi, huku wataalamu wa afya wakiibua wasiwasi kuhusu aina ya vyakula wanavyokula wa Kenya kila siku.
Kampeni hiyo ya Food Policy Coalition Kenya ilileta pamoja washirika kwenye malengo yanayoshabikiana na wakiwemo wataalamu wa afya na mashirika ya kidini.
Kampeni hii inahamasisha uwekaji wa alama za onyo zilizo kwenye vyakula vilivyosindikwa.
Wizara ya Afya inakadiria kwamba takriban 39% ya vifo nchini Kenya vinahusishwa na magonjwa yanayoambukiza, huku idadi ya wanaolazwa hospitalini kutokana na magonjwa hayo ikiendelea kuongezeka.
The Food Policy Coalition Kenya has launched a campaign calling for clear front-of-pack warning labels on ultra-processed foods. These labels are designed to help consumers easily identify products high in sugar, salt, and fats.
The high prevalence of non-communicable diseases is placing an increasing pressure on families, communities, and the healthcare system in the country.
By making products easier to compare and understand, they empower consumers to make healthier choices for themselves and their families.
Consumers who are familiar with back-to-back information found it complex and difficult to interpret, and many do not take the time to read it before making purchase decisions.
Every Kenyan has the right to clear, easy to understand information about the food they consume.
Na mtazamaji, taarifa hiyo inatukamilishia awamu ya kwanza ya Darubini ya Channel 1.
Na mtazamaji, taarifa nzito hapo, sijui bado tutakuwa tunakula nini?
Na alikuwa ushaniambia kesho nikija nikuletee viazi karai.
Kosa uone moto.
Na mtazamaji, usiende mbali, tutarejea na taarifa zaidi.
Nairobi, your time is now. Masani ya kutoka vlog na KBC imeamua lazima uomoke. Tutakuwa tunakaa mtaa yako kukuomosha very fast. Jibu maswali zangu 3 tu. Tuoneka kweli wewe ni true fan wa KBC Channel 1. Na ukizipata 25K ni yako. So make sure una watch KBC Channel 1. Alafu kinicheki kwa streets. Niulize kana kuomosha leo. Omoka na KBC Channel 1. Uanga bad ni mbaya.
Watasema niko na kichaa.
Najua uko hapa ndani. Fungua bwana. Ilijua nishapigia chief na najua uko hapa.
Tafadhali usirudishe hizo pesa kwa Shylock. Sitaki kufuata nyayo zako.
Enda wewe aidha ukajijenga ama ukajibomoa.
Usiingilie vita zangu na babako, sawa?
Lakini chenye dada alifanya sio haki kabisa.
Mimi napanga mambo yangu hapa na wewe unakimbizia maadui zangu.
Kama utaweza kunisaidia, basi pia mimi sitakuwa na budi la kukusaidia.
Halo, huyo msichana yuko vipi?
Nimesikia alikuwa kwa Andrew leo asubuhi na hapa kwangu pia.
Huyo mtu ingekuwa tiwa ndani sasa hivi.
Hautaona mtoto wako tena.
Ukimaliza uniambie mali zawadi yuko, hata hiyo gari naweza kukupatia.
Hakuna familia iliyonitosha kama familia yenu.
Wananitagundu
Naam, shukrani sana mtazamaji kwa kuendelea kutazama Darubini ya Channel 1.
Tusonge mbele ambapo muungano wa vyama vya wafanyikazi humu nchini KOTU umeshtumu matamshi ya kiongozi wa chama cha DCP Rigathi Gachagua kumhusu Francis Atwoli na muungano huo. Mwenyekiti wa KOTU Kasisi Joel Chebii amedai kwamba Gachagua hajali maslahi ya yeyote na ananuia tu kulipiza kisasi.
We have a labor union led by a Secretary General,
the staff union, the management, the supervisors, all of us are rallying call to replace KOTU with the new labor.
Ni matamshi haya ya aliyekuwa naibu rais Rigathi Gachagua akipendekeza kuanzishwa kwa muungano mbadala wa wafanyikazi mbali na ule wa KOTU yanayowatia tumbo joto viongozi wa muungano huo.
We are not fearing as many centers as possible. They can bring many centers. The law, the requirement is that the most representative national center is the one that is recognized by governments of each country and by extension by ILO.
And our constitution provides that every worker has a right to join a union of his choice. So this is not a threat.
So when Atwoli has been elected, then they need to wait until that time that we will exceed, so that if they are able to come.
Muungano wa KOTU umepuuzilia mbali mito hiyo ukidai kwamba Gachagua anatumia kila mbinu kuendelea kuwa na umuhimu wa kisiasa.
We wish to inform him that trade unions are not political chaos created for overnight to satisfy wounded egos or personal vendettas. KOTU is a largely established national labor center.
Wakiongozwa na mwenyekiti Kasisi Joel Chebii na naibu katibu mkuu wa KOTU Benson Okwaro, muungano huo unamshtumu kiongozi huyo wa chama cha DCP kwa kuibua shaka kuhusiana na utekelezaji wa nyongeza ya mshahara ya 12% iliyotangazwa hivi majuzi kwa wafanyikazi na 15% kwa wakulima iliyotangazwa wakati wa sikukuu ya Labor Day katika kaunti ya Vihiga.
They should know that KOTU, we are doing what we are required, and we are elected individually through our, workers from industries.
Abdiaziz Hashim, Darubini.
Na mtazamaji, bwawa la maji la Mwache katika kaunti ya Kwale ambalo limegharimu shilingi bilioni 25.5 huenda likachelewa kukamilika kutokana na uhaba wa fedha. Mwenyekiti wa kamati ya bunge la kitaifa kuhusu maji, unyunyizaji mashamba maji na uchumi wa majini Kangongo Bowen amesema mkandarasi anayejenga bwawa hilo anaidai serikali bilioni 1.9. Taarifa hiyo na nyinginezo mtazamaji ni katika makala yetu ya Kapu la Biashara.
Ujenzi wa bwawa la Mwache ulitarajiwa kukamilika baadaye mwaka huu baada ya kuzinduliwa rasmi mwaka 2023. Hata hivyo, mwenyekiti wa kamati ya bunge la taifa kuhusu maji, unyunyiziaji mashamba maji na uchumi wa majini Kangongo Bowen amesema mradi huo utachelewa kukamilika kutokana na changamoto za kifedha. Anasema ujenzi wa kiwanda cha kusafisha maji na uwekaji na usambazaji wa mabomba haujakamilika kutokana na ukosefu wa fedha.
Have the dam complete, but that water still cannot be utilized, cannot benefit the community when we don't have the treatment plan and the pipeline, which has not yet started.
Kwingineko, halmashauri ya kukabiliana na bidhaa gushi imenasa vipuri vya magari vilivyokuwa vikizuiwa kimagendo mjini Kisumu. Meneja wa halmashauri hiyo eneo la Nyanza, Tom Muteti, amesema uuzaji vipuri bandia umekithiri katika eneo hilo kutokana na ukaribu wake na mataifa jirani, na amewatahadharisha Wakenya kutonunua bidhaa ambazo hazijaidhinishwa.
We are looking at sanity, the products that we are buying. There are health and safety implications of counterfeit products. If you buy counterfeit brake pads, definitely the vehicle you cannot control. You'll get accidents. If you buy counterfeit plugs, you knock your engine, so there's no value for your money.
Na Kenya inanuia kuongeza marudufu ulaji wa nyama ya nguruwe humu nchini hadi gramu 800 kwa kila mtu kwa mwaka, bali na kuboresha mapato ya wafugaji na kuimarisha ushirikishi kwenye mfumo wa uongezaji thamani. wadau wa sekta ya umma wanashirikiana na wale wa binafsi kuwatafutia wafugaji nguruwe masoko, kuimarisha lishe na kukuza taratibu za uongezaji thamani.
The government intends to provide an enabling environment for the producers to thrive and the private sector at large. Intend to increase access to markets for pig producers by 40%.
Pork is quite superior when it comes to nutrients such as selenium for immunity, vitamin B1 for energy, protein, as well as it is tasty and easy to cook.
Mwishowe, shughuli za kibiashara zilipungua mwezi Aprili wakati bei ya mafuta ilipoongeza gharama ya bidhaa na kudunisha ununuzi miongoni mwa wateja. Ripoti ya ununuzi bidhaa ya benki ya Stanbic inaashiria kwamba mazingira ya kibiashara yalishuka kwa mwezi wa pili mfululizo hadi alama 49.4. Kiwango cha 50.0 kwenda juu huashiria kuimarika kwa biashara, ilhali viwango vya chini ya 50.0 ni dhihirisho la kudorora.
Wakenya, ni wakati mwingine wa kuhakikisha kuwa umefile KRA returns. Je, uko rada una challenge yoyote? Usiwe na shaka. KRA wakishirikiana na KBC Channel 1 wanakuja hapo ulipo kusaidia kufile returns na kulipia ushuru wako. Jiunge na msafara wa KRA Roadshow, uwe fiti mambo ya returns. Ijumaa tarehe 8 mwezi Mei tunazuru eneo la Kiambu kuanzia Kikuyu, Limuru, Kimende, Kagwi, Githunguri, Kiambu Town, Banana na kisha tumalizie Ruaka. Tarehe 30 Juni iko mlangoni. Usingoje hadi dakika za mwisho. File KRA returns mapema. Ishi bila stress. Jijue, jibeta. KRA, tulipe ushuru, tujitegemee.
So Dr. hujambo mwanaspoti popote ulipo, karibu tena sana katika Darubini Michezo. Mimi ni @I Lemoka, tudodose viwanjani. Wachezaji wa zamani wa Harambee Stars walikuwa kivutio kikuu katika mashindano ya soka ya hisani ya Game Africa yaliyoandaliwa jijini Nairobi. Tukio hilo lilivutia viongozi wa sekta ya ubashiri, washikadau wa soka na makampuni mbalimbali. Lilitimiza azma yake ya kuchangisha fedha kwa ajili ya shughuli za hisani barani Afrika, huku ikikuza ushirikiano muhimu ndani ya sekta hiyo inayokuwa kwa kasi. Wanasoka mashuhuri Timothy Odera na Bobby Ogola waliongoza mashindano hayo wakishiriki katika michezo ya maonesho. Jione.
We are gathered here to launch our charity project, which is an iGaming Africa charity game. And the aim for this event is to see that as a community within the gaming industry, we are able to support the society, especially with the financing of sanitization facility projects across various countries in Africa.
I think my sponsors, tunajua huku shida ni ganji, watu wanaga do. Shida ni ganji, timu zingine mtu anatoa do kwa mfuko yake, kama Sofapaka tulisikia alikuwa amesema ametumia karibu do ngapi president. Ametoa do mingi sana kwa mfuko wake. Lakini my sponsors akitokeza wasaidia watoi, boli ya Kenya itainuka.
Jitihada mpya za kurejesha utaratibu katika mchezo wa mbio za magari hapa nchini sasa zinaendelea baada ya shirikisho la Motorsports Kenya kuanza tena kushinikiza usajili wake rasmi kufuatia uamuzi muhimu wa mahakama ya kutatua migogoro ya michezo humu nchini. Shirikisho hilo sasa linaitaka ofisi ya msajili wa michezo kuharakisha mchakato wa usajili, hatua muhimu itakayofungua njia ya uchaguzi uliokuwa ukisubiriwa kwa muda mrefu sasa, pamoja na upangaji upya wa mchezo huo.
Katika hukumu yake, mahakama ilibaini kuwa Kenya Motorsports ilishindwa kutii masharti ya sheria ya michezo ya mwaka 2013, hali iliyofanya kutotambuliwa rasmi. Uamuzi huo uliagizwa kuundwa na kusajiliwa kwa shirikisho jipya linalokidhi vigezo ili kurejesha utawala bora, uwazi na uwajibikaji katika mchezo huo.
What happens next is straightforward. The sports registrar must now complete the registration process without further delay. Elections will follow. Membership will open to all clubs and stakeholders.
Maafisa wa Motorsports Kenya wanasema kuchelewa kwa usajili bado kunakwamisha shughuli muhimu, zikiwamo kuundwa kwa uongozi kamili kupitia uchaguzi pamoja na uratibu wa mashindano ya kitaifa.
Our fight has been about governance and organization. And the first thing that we want to ensure is that we have accountability and corporate governance structures in our organization. Now, if you look at the constitution that we presented before the registrar, one of the key pillars in that constitution is a commercial commission.
We're looking forward to bringing in more ladies with the dream to drive new categories. We look forward to bringing new young upcoming lady drivers and bringing them up to, winning championships.
Frederick Mwoki, Darubini Michezo.
Daktari mtazamaji, baada ya mpambano mkali sana wa kuania nafasi ya kufuzu fainali za kombe la mabingwa barani Ulaya, sasa leo Arsenal watakuwa wakiwania kujua ni nani atakayekutana na wao, kwa sababu leo usiku itakuwa ni muda wa timu ya Bayern Munich wakichuana na vijana wa Paris Saint-Germain. Hiyo jana Arsenal waliweza kuibandua Atletico Madrid kwa kuichabanga goli 1-0, bao lilofungwa na Bukayo Saka. Finali itachezwa baadaye mwezi huu tarehe 30. Mengi zaidi ni mwendo wa saa 3. Nasema ni hayo tu kutoka meza ya michezo kwa hisani kubwa ya Darubini Michezo. Asante sana kwa muda wako. Hiyo kesho tutakuwepo hewani muda na wasaa kama wa leo, na kuregesheni kwao Gladys pamoja na Ahmed Juma Balo. Mimi ni Lemoka na nimetoka.
Na bila shaka jana Arsenal walifuzu kwa fainali, na kama alivyosema mwenzangu Lemoka, leo kutakuwa na mechi babu kubwa baina ya Bayern Munich pale Allianz Arena wakichuana na PSG. Umeona mpiga picha pale nyuma Muna jinsi anavyofurahi.
Nashindwa anashangilia nini?
Shabiki wa Arsenal wako wanasema kwamba tayari washatangulia kwenda katika lile jiji la Budapest ambapo fainali itachezwa kule Hungary. Sawa, tusubiri leo tujue atachuana na nani, PSG ama Bayern Munich. Na mtazamaji, kufikia hapo ndio tunatamatisha taarifa hizi za Darubini ya Channel 1. Inshallah Mungu akipenda tukutane hapo kesho. Naitwa Ahmed Juma Balo, ukiniita AJB pia nitaitikia, na Lensa ama Lucy Maura ndio mwenzetu kwa upande wa lugha ishara. Asalamu alaykum.
Kwaheri mtazamaji, mimi naitwa Gladys Mungai.
Never felt this way before. You don't have other plans? How about to my place.
Back in the day, if you'd said that, it would mean you're firing us.
A personal matter affected you. And your promotion. I'm really sorry. He lives here too. Every day. He only talks to the staff or the guests. Does he really know more about feelings?
Leo yashindikana yakishujuwi kwa udi na uvumba, mateso na yakumba, jua likitua, taka minavua, pesa nazivuna, ndoto zatimia, ila mi najua najua kesho nitakuwa poa 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 poa. Through my struggles nitatoboa toboa toboa toboa.
Sasa nimeanza kuona chenye Pastor Bedi aliniambia ni ukweli. Ni kama utaki niende ng'ambo kabisa.
We, Josh. Sio mambo tumemaliza. Mimi ilipelekea Abedi pesa zake. Na yeye arudishie Sherlock. Okay?
Dad, kwani hujachoka kuishi hivi? Ukikata Pastor Joel na Abedi wanisaidie kupata scholarship ya kwenda ng'ambo, sikudanganyi, pia mimi nitafuata mama.
Nikuone vizuri. Ungefanya hivyo jana. Yesterday. Mimi hata ukienda siwezi kufuata. Mimi nimekulea, umekuwa mtu mzima, bado unaishi hapa kwangu. Enda ukajitegemee.
Mimi sitaki kufuata nyayo zako. Umesikia? Nataka kwenda mbali kabisa na wewe ndo nijijenge.
Oh, Josh. Ni mimi unaongelesha hivyo.
Mimi nimechoka kuona ukibomoa ile kidogo umejenga. Sitaki kabisa kufika umri wako nikikaa hivi.
Josh, kazi yangu ilikuwa tu moja. Kuleta kwa hii dunia. Na nimekulea. Umekuwa mtu mzima sasa. Enda wewe aidha ukajijenge ama ukajibomoe.
Dad, ukiendelea hivi utabaki peke yako kabisa. Mimi nikipata kazi nitahakikisha nimechukua Mam na Cindy niwapeleke mbali kabisa na wewe. Tuone venye utaishi.
Oh. Stupid boy. Yaani mkitaka kwenda nendeni. Hata nendeni hiyo ng'ambo. Hata kabla mamako kuja nilikuwa single and searching. Hata hapa naweza andika United States of Elijah, USA.
Andrew, kama utaweza kunisaidia, basi pia mimi sitakuwa na budi la kukusaidia.
Good.
Nitafanya juu chini zawadi apatikane. But hata kama utapata si Mandi ndiye alimuiba, tafadhali nijulishe. Sawa, hiyo ni sawa. Sawa. Thank you very much. Asante.
Hello. Yeah, Andrew here. Yes, huyo msichana yuko vipi? Good, very very good. Muko pale pale? Aha. Hiyo ni sawa. Sasa iko mabadiliko kidogo, lakini sitaki Mandi ajue kwa sasa. Usijali, Mambo yako iko sawa. Nitakutengeneza.
Mandi. Lakini Mandi, ni kutoka unatoka? Na Mandi, unajua hujailala huku tangu ukuje na mizigo hapa.
Basi hata usijali. Hivi karibuni nitakuwa narudi kwangu.
Na hiyo soon si leo?
Si leo. Inaweza kuwa kesho ama hata kesho kutwa.
Kwa hivyo kuna time?
Time
ya kuongea, Mandi. Mandi, sikiza. Unaona Mandi, inafaa tukae chini tuongee. Unaona? Hatujaongea hata kuja hapa. Wewe ulikuja hapa ukaweka mizigo ukaenda. Saizi tena wewe unatoka tu unaniambia unaenda. Na unajua nafaa kuongea.
Nakusikiza.
So Mandi, mimi kitu nilikuwa nasema unajua
Pasi, you have my ears, talk to me. Hata ni kama uko na mgeni.
Nani huyu? Na Mendi. Si jioni basi unaweza rudi mapema kidogo tumalizie hiyo pati ya kuongea. Yes. Josh. Ni wewe?
Ni mimi.
Karibu, ingia.
Asante.
Karibu sana.
Asante.
Ingia.
Pasi.
Yes.
Tafadhali. Usirudishe hizo pesa kwa Shylock.
Keti Josh. Karibu ka. Yes. Na Mandi, si utani sukumia tu gate kidogo?
Ni sawa Pasi, no problem.
Ama unaweza ngoja kidogo tutokanishe? Sawa. Okay. Josh. Wewe mimi naona mambo yako sasa inakuwa ngumu.
Chifu.
Naam.
Karibu sana.
Asante bwana Fabi.
Karibu.
Asante sana. Asante sana.
Pende.
Asante sana.
Karibu kiti.
Nashukuru. Acha tulia hapa.
Chief, naona umebebana.
Hizi ni pesa hizi.
Pesa?
Ndio.
Kwani umeanza kupata donation za kampeni yako?
Natamani atenge kwa hivyo. Lakini
Chifu, mimi mali imefikia. Niko tayari kutoa chochote mradi tu nimpate zawadi na nimpate akiwa mzima.
Kwani Manda amepatikana kwa simu?
Wapi? Bado yuko mteja. Lakini nimesikia alikuwa kwa Andrew leo asubuhi na hapa kwangu pia.
Sasa unasubiri nini? Wewe ungekuwa umeniambia kitambo, huyo mtu angekuwa tiwa ndani sasa hivi.
Hakuna haja Chief.
Hakuna haja? Kwani alimleta zawadi?
Hiyo ndio inanipa wasiwasi kubwa zaidi. Ona Mandi alikuwa hapa na hakuwa na zawadi. Uone kuwa kuna uwezekano kuwa si alimuiba zawadi na ajui hata ni nani alimuiba.
Ofwambe bwana, bila kuulizia tutajuaje? Hivi ninavyokuambia, Mandi alikuwa fashikwe au jiwe kisawa sawa mpaka seme zawadi yuko wapi bwana?
Think about it Chief. Sasa kumkamata Mandi ndio itafanya seme mali zawadi yuko. Hiyo itakuwa ni hatari zaidi kwa zawadi.
Sasa tufanyeje?
Lakini nimezungumza na Andrew leo asubuhi. Na chifu, mimi najua sana kuona mtu ambaye ananidanganya. Huyo Andrew ni kama anamkinga Mandi. Lakini ni sawa, tutajua before the end of the day.
Fambe, ni kama kuna kitu unakijua, niambie kila kitu vile ulivyozungumza na Andrew. Kila kitu, usiniambie kila kitu, niambie ndugu yangu. Niambie.
Josh, unajua kutoka hapa mpaka kwa hiyo Sherlock mbali. Uko sure utaki tuende hizo pesa? Alafu nini? Alafu ndo uliza baba yako, si mimi.
Lakini Pasi, tuendelee tuna mpango wenye tulikuwa tumeelewana awali.
Josh, wewe nikuulize kitu moja Josh, wewe ushaiwaishikiwa panga kwa mlango yako? Ushaishikiwa panga wewe?
Pasi, si tuko na baraka za madhi.
So hizo baraka ndo zitanikinga babako kuja hapa kunikatakata. Sikiza Josh, babako amerudisha pesa na tayari ziko kwa chief. Hizo zingine za scholarship mimi nilishatumia Pastor Joel. Sitaki maneno na mtu mimi.
Siyo ni sawa Pasi. Bora za scholarship ziko, hizo zingine unazafanya nazo venye wanataka basi.
Josh, unajua chief ameshanipatia amri nipigie Pastor Joel simu arudishe hizo pesa. Na nikimpigia simu atakasirika. Unajua. Na hii mambo yako kwenda ng'ambo itaishia hapo. So sasa mimi sijui utajipangaje. Hebu jipange ujue kama ni baba yako utacontain ama ni chief kabla nipigie simu. Sawa Josh? Sawa.
Ni sawa basi.
Nitagundu wakita, wengine watasema niko na
Education is the foundation of our nation's future, and its transformation begins now. It is for this reason that the Ministry of Education invites you to the Second National Education Conference 2026 under the theme Driving Education Reforms Through Effective Leadership, Accountability and Collaboration. Join education leaders, policy makers, and stakeholders from 6th to 10th May 2026 at the Lake Naivasha Resort, together for transformative education reforms.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Kenya.
Wake up with Good Morning Kenya, the morning show that's got it all.
We dive deep into issues shaping our country.
Youth are a voice of a nation.
What is the next step for the young people? Unpacking political landscape from Monday to Wednesday. We discuss family matters.
It is very important to guard your relationship.
And for your health.
Someone doesn't wake up and they become an addict. It's in stages.
We've got you covered each and every Tuesday at 9 a.m.
Every Wednesday, it's all about The Viewpoint.
A day in politics is like 1,000 years.
Unpacking the biggest stories of the week, getting you insights and getting you ready for your day.
And the package is not yet done. I get to fix your Thursday with some entertainment. Entertainment Thursday, it is. Good morning, Kenya. We shape your day.
Good Morning Kenya, every weekday morning on KBC Channel 1.
Sasa unataka nini? Acha nikwambie vizuri. Wakati wako umeisha, na wakati wangu. Unasikia?
Lazima tutumie muda tulionao vizuri. Ongea nami tafadhali.
Kusudi la sarakasi ni nini?
Kwani Maimuna aenda? Kwani unafanya nini tena?
Toki hapa mpaka niajadili ninayoongelea, sawa? Beko, niache. Hebu nisikize. Sitaki kusikiza, sitaki kukuona.
Nikirudi hapa sitaki kukupata, kishasikia?
Nitagundu wakita, wengine watasema niko na
In case nikikutana naye nitazungumza naye, lakini bila fujo.
Najua atarudi huko. Kama alikuwa hapa asubuhi atarudi tu.
Hii familia Elijah hii mimi basi kabisa.
Wako sawa?
Tutajua tu. Haya bwana Ofwambe, naona ushanifikisha kwa geti. Wacha nikahudumia wananchi wengine.
Ni sawa.
Nimeshukuru.
Asante kwa kuja.
Nami pia shukrani.
Sawa, shukrani. Halo. Bwana hiyo. Salama. Mmepata habari zozote mpya? Lakini unajua jinsi anavyozidi kukosa kupatikana ndio maisha yake yanazidi kwa hata ni sawa na nashukuru. Haya sawa basi ndo acha mfanye kazi yenu. Asante. Zawadi. 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 Zawadi.
Ofwambe, nimeambiwa what has happened. Is she okay?
Hii ficha yangu tunaongelelea.
Ficha yako? Ficha yako ambayo unaiongelea, ushawahi fikiria ficha ya wazazi wako? Josh, namaanisha kwamba umewahi ukafikiria maisha ya dadako Cindy? Umewahi ukakaa ukafikiria swala hilo?
Chief.
Josh. Hakuna familia iliyonichosha kama familia yenu.
Chief, ndo maana nang'ang'ania hiyo scholarship. Ndo angalau niwatoe kwa hizi mashida. Na pia wewe nikupunguzie hiyo mzigo.
Josh, yani familia yenu nyinyi imenichosha, imenifika hapa mimi. Mukitoka kwenye shida hii, mwaingia kwenye kesi hii. Mukitoka kwenye balaa hili, mwaingia kwenye haya. Juzi tu. Ili kuko ni kuhusu uwizi, mambo ya uwizi haya. Hivi leo babako yuenda chukua panga, yuenda mkata yule mchungaji. Uona itakuwa ni kesi gani hiyo?
Chief, hizo ni maulevi tu za dad.
Mimi sitakujua. Sitaki kuelewa ni maulevi wala ni nini. Josh, kaa na familia yako. Kaa na familia yako vizuri sana. Mupange mambo yenu. Kazi yangu mimi sio kwamba niwake leo mwanze kesi hii, kesho kesi hii. Yani hiyo ni kazi yao. Hapana. Niko na kazi nyingi za kufanya.
Niambie tu ujui mali Zawadi yuko na huku sika kwa njia yote ile or else.
Ofwambe, I want half of everything we have, including our matrimonial home.
Yani unataka kuniambia uliba Zawadi ndio alipogawanya mali yangu?
Yetu. Mali yetu Ofwambe. Ama umesahau kitafuta nilikuwa nakulelea? Jaribu uniguze. Hautaona mtoto wako tena.
Uondoke hapa kama sijapigia chifu.
Ni wewe ulinizusha maisha hali ya juu Ofwambe. Alafu unanizanisha hivi kama takataka.
Sema raka, ukimaliza uniambie mali Zawadi yuko, hata hiyo gari naweza kukupatia. Bora tu niambie mali Zawadi yuko.
Si mimi niko naye.
Mali, stop wasting my time. Andrew? Yani hivyo ndio mliamua na Andrew?
Ofwambe, ulifanya plans za Andrew na Kama zika backfire. Ukafanya Richard akavutishwa kazi. And right now you are supporting Matata to run for the MCS seat. Think about that, Ofwambe.
Sasa unanisaidia na nini we?
Nimekaa na Andrew for some time na nimemsoma.
Yenyewe na Andrew mnafaana. The same things you're telling me here about Andrew are the same things aliniambia kukuhusu wewe. Zawadi, uko sawa? Umetoka wapi? Zawadi, nani wamekuleta hapa? Zawadi, are you hurt?
Zawadi, are you okay, sweetheart?
Zawadi, niambia ukweli, usiogope chochote. Zawadi, ni Mandi ndiye alikuiba? Ama mali ulikuwa umeficha ulimwona? Niko hapa, usiogope. Tell me the truth. Mandi ndiye alikuiba? Sawa mama, simama. Nenda kwa nyumba, nipigie simu, sawa? Pole. Wamekuumiza. Yes, Andrew. Mandi ako hapa. Unaweza Hey. Kwani ameenda wapi? Mandi.
Habari asubuhi. Baba Jina, sina na kusalimia habari asubuhi.
Utakuwa unawasha moto hapa, alafu natorokea kwa dada yako siku 2-3, alafu narudi vile unataka.
Shweli, si hata mtu ujulia mke wake hali vile yako. Anyway, umesalimiwa?
Nimesalimika. Nani alikutuma kwa Ufuambe na Matata? Yaani mimi napanga mambo yangu hapa kwangu, na wewe unakimbizia maadui zangu.
Adui yako hapa ni Mandi, na sijui kwa nini hauoni.
Kama siwezi kukuamini na wewe ni mke wangu, sieri hata huyo Mandi basi.
Unajaribu kusema nini?
Sijaribu, nasema kasi yako kwa maisha yangu ni gani kama siwezi kukuamini?
Ala, Mom. Umerudi?
Hey.
Hey. Karibu.
Asante.
Leta nikusaidie. Mom. Umekuwa wapi hizi siku kadhaa?
Si niko na marafiki Josh.
Unajua Eva kwa anajua uko wapi?
Hey. Eva na hizo shida zake zote. Nimuongezee zangu alafu.
Karibu ndani. Mom, I hope umerudi kabisa.
Hiyo itategemea na babako Josh.
Najua chenye dada alifanya na
Josh. Hiyo ni mambo kati yangu na babako. Na tafadhali na kuomba usiingilie vita zangu na babako, sawa?
Lakini chenye dada alifanya sio haki kabisa. Sasa imagine kama Cindy angekuwa hapa.
Hata ni vizuri Cindy hakuwa. Na wewe saa hizi umekuwa mtu mkubwa. Hii maneno najua tu unaelewa.
Sawa ma.
Naona uliamua kufua. Umefulia mpaka babako? Josh. Kwani huwezi fulia babako nguo?
Mom, unaona kutoka utoke hapa? Mambo ya dad haijaikuwa the same tena.
Najua.
Dad alienda akaambia Pastor Joel asimamishe mambo ya passport na scholarship. Ati arudishe hizo pesa Shailo.
Na ako wapi? Ako wapi nizungumze na yeye? Hebu tuende niende kuongea na babako Josh.
Abedi. Najua uko hapa ndani. Fungua bwana. Fungua tuzungumze.
Elijah, nani amefungulia gate?
Ni malaika. By the way uko umefunga gate. Fungua mlango bwana.
Elijah. Elijah nishapigia chief na anajua uko hapa. Kwa hivyo ukijaribu kunivamia ama kunidhulumu kwa njia yote ile, unakamatwa, unachukuliwa hatua kali sana.
Sitakuwa na haja kukudhuru ama kukuumiza. Kama ulifanya ile kitu tulikubaliana.
Hakuna kitu tumekubaliana na wewe mimi.
Unasema nini? Bonge kwa sauti.
Ongea kwa sauti nisikie.
Nasema kama umekuja kwa roho safi, na mimi pia nakukaribisha kwa moyo mkunjufu.
Wewe wacha kistori nyingi sana bwana. Wale pesa ya Shelo.
Nitagundu wakita, wengine watasema niko na kichaa, lakini mimi najua yatapita. Nitaja kuomoka nishike dinga, nyumba ya kifahari nitakaa, nipate hata binti ataenifaa, kwa kuwa mimi najua yatapita. Wana kijiji wote wataniimba, oh, 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 yeah. Oh, oh, oh.
Wakenya, ni wakati mwingine wa kuhakikisha kuwa umefile KRA returns. Je, uko rada una challenge yoyote? Usiwe na shaka. KRA wakishirikiana na KBC Channel 1 wanakuja hapo ulipo kusaidia kufile returns na kulipia ushuru wako. Jiunge na msafara wa KRA Roadshow, uwe fiti mambo ya returns. Ijumaa ya tarehe 8 mwezi Mei tunazuru eneo la Kiambu kuanzia Kikuyu, Limuru, Kimende, Kagwi, Githunguri, Kiambu Town, Banana na kisha tumalizie Ruaka. Tarehe 30 Juni iko mlangoni. Usingoje hadi dakika za mwisho. File KRA returns mapema. Ishi bila stress. Jijue, jibeta. KRA, tulipe ushuru, tujitegemee.
Welcome back to Semana Spokes from Nagamba.
Semana Spokes is the platform where Wananchi engage, query the government, and the government responds. It's your time to be informed. Don't miss Bonga Nagava every Thursday at 8 p.m. only on KBC Channel 1.
Semana Spokes.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Dada's Show, coming to you from Panari Hotel here in Nairobi. I'm your host, Ashiko Mbune. As our name suggests, Dada's Show aspires to promote the spirit of sisterhood, solidarity, and inclusivity amongst the women of Kenya. And we do this by creating an open and a safe platform for women to discuss any and all matters pertaining to their health and well-being, their lifestyle and careers, their families, among other topics. We also take pride in having the conversations that matter, not only to women, but to society at large. Love has changed, relationships have changed, and how we live them, that has changed too. Today, people are choosing to walk away from marriages that don't serve them, but not without judgment, questions, and in some cases, deep personal loss. In a world where everything is shared, seen, and scrutinized, one may wonder, how do you navigate something as personal as divorce or separation? In today's episode, I am joined by two brave ladies who are willing to share their experience. They bring honesty, truth, and of course, deep insight to conversations around navigating separation, public perception, and of course, rebuilding again. If you or anybody you know is going through divorce or is in this phase of your life, then this is definitely the conversation for you. As always, we welcome you at home to take part and keep this conversation going on all our social media pages at KBC Channel 1. You can also reach us on Facebook at Dada's Show KBC. You can reach me personally at Ashiko the Host across all social media platforms. Welcome. If you're just joining us, today's conversation is all about divorce, separation, healing, and rebuilding yourself. And as mentioned, I am joined by two brave ladies who are coming to join us, share with us their experiences in a bid to encourage somebody who is watching us, to tell them that there's definitely life after divorce and separation, and you can be able to rebuild yourself. You can even be able to find love again. So this is definitely one of those conversations that people have always made taboo. But here on Dada's Show, we strive to actually shine light on every single conversation that affects the lives of women in this particular country. So right next to me, I am happy to introduce a friend and of course a divorcee, my very, very close personal friend, Ann Karimi. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
So I'm looking forward to your insights on this conversation, and asante sana for making time. Right next to her, we've got Jacqueline Geshihi, and thank you so much, Jackie, for making it. You know, I know you have a very busy schedule, but thank you for making time to come and sit with us.
Thank you very much. I'm blessed to be here.
Thank you so much for that. Of course, I cannot fail to acknowledge my wonderful audience who make time to come and sit here with us at Panari Hotel as we discuss issues that affect women in Kenya. You know, as we also celebrate, as we acknowledge each other, as we love on each other. Of course, I cannot also fail to acknowledge you at home. Thank you so much for making time each week to tune into KBC Channel 1 to watch Dada's Show as we learn and learn, support each other and grow each other the best way we know how to, through communication. So to get the ball rolling, to start us off, to just put everything into context, tell me a little bit about yourself. I want both of you to introduce yourselves, you know, give us more insight. Who is Anne? Who is Jackie? So I'll start off with you, Anne.
Okay. My name is Ann Karimi, a divorcee, definitely. I'm 52 years old.
Wow.
I turned 52. I separated in 2020.
Yes.
Somewhat divorced because mine was a traditional wedding in 2011. There's a very gray area how that works, okay? I have a 17-year-old daughter who I'm co-parenting with her father.
Yeah.
I'm self-employed. I'm in a renewable energy space.
Yes.
And I'm glad to be here and share my story and possibly encourage anyone who is in that space and they don't know how to navigate that journey.
Of course.
Yes, thank you
so much. Thank you so much. And you know something, for a very long time, people will always look at divorce as something that is shameful and people like to hide behind. So of course, coming on national TV is truly a blessing, and thank you so much for making time. I want to move on to you, Jackie. What is your interaction with today's conversation? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you very much, Ashiko. And thank you, Anne, for sharing. So my name is Jacqueline Werimo Gashehe, and I'm almost 51.
Yeah.
And I wear many hats. I'm a programs manager. I work with communities in different parts of the country, West Pokot, Samburu, and I work especially with women. I'm also a childbirth educator. I'm a doula, and I'm also a breastfeeding counselor. But for the purpose of this discussion, I'm a mother of two beautiful girls, amazing girls who have grown since the time I got married. I got married in 2004, and just like Anne, I went through a separation in 2011. And 4 years later, we went through a divorce. And so 15 years later, here I am, able to speak, able to encourage, able to just share from this journey. And I'm grateful for this opportunity to be here and to be able to share. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Jackie, for that. Thank you so much. And the thing, what I'm loving about this, actually my panelists today, if you can agree, we are not dealing with young ladies. You're seasoned, and not seasoned Kobaya, seasoned ladies. And of course, we're talking about a generation where, you know, you were getting married to stay. You had to stay. You know, you had to make it work. Because right now, let's be honest, you know, with the younger generations, it's so much easier for them to walk away from each other. You know, we see it all the time on social media. People were married 2 years, they're done. So here we are 52, almost 51, and you walked away. You walked away. So that's what I wanna talk about today. So I want to start off with you, Anne. Why do you think divorce is still perceived as a failure? You know, even when it might be the healthiest choice for either one of the partners.
I think culturally and socially, women are expected to put up with rubbish in bad marriages. And even stemming from my own experience, that's all my mom knew, even from her mother and her mother before that.
Yeah.
And you find that anytime a woman leaves, it's you know, there's a lot of judgment from the society, there's a lot of judgment from relatives and friends.
Yeah.
So you find that for a woman to leave, she's perceived as a failure because culturally, a woman is supposed to put up with all that. So it becomes very tricky. I mean, like, I went through a lot of judgment.
Yes.
I had to, luckily it was during COVID, so I was able to hide away and sort myself out and even have the answers to those questions, you know, losing friends and all that stuff. So the failure part of marriage comes from now the cultural aspect.
Yeah.
I remember in my case, my mom would always bring Christianity into play.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, marriage is under attack. You have to stay. You have to stay. My father would tell me, you're not going to bring shame to this family. You're the one who brought that man to us here. You have to stay. So you're afraid to fail your parents, to fail society, to fail your children. Because that's another thing people don't talk about. The children really get so affected.
Yeah.
So there's failure everywhere and judgment. And unfortunately, in divorces, it's only women who are judged. And it's only women who are perceived to be the failure because they didn't put up and they didn't stick it.
They didn't persevere and they were supposed to.
Persevere. Exactly.
Mwanamke ni
Exactly. Mwanamke ni kuvumilia. That's the only thing my mother would tell me.
Yeah.
Like, you have to, you're the bad one. Pray about it.
Yeah.
Be submissive. Don't question, because that's all she knew.
Yeah.
And you see, that's all she knew in that generation.
Yes.
But I'm happy that things are changing and we have such conversations that now that breaks that norm. And yeah, I hope
and
it's
the
going
stigma
to change.
that is
Yeah,
even
and the
around
stigma
it,
that is
you know?
around.
Yeah, because you've seen some cases where, remember the question is saying the healthier option.
Exactly.
And nowadays you're finding, I mean, we need to come out of the space where people are hanging in together because of the children.
Yep.
Because of finances, which is also a very key factor.
Yeah,
because of, you know, people are hanging in there because of society, because of family, and yet either one or both are silently dying on the inside. And I think I always beg the question, who is it beneficial to? Because the kids can obviously tell.
Yeah.
Mommy is not happy.
Yes.
Daddy is frustrated.
Yes.
So what's the point of pushing this charade?
Yeah.
I mean, Jacqueline, do you have anything to add on this? You know, why is it that the divorce is still perceived? In your case, did people around you look at it or look at you as a failure because you chose to go that way?
Thank you for that question. And just to add to what Anne has said, I think there's a lot of expectation externally from the community, from the culture, and also internally. You know, because women are perceived as the glue that holds the family together.
Yes.
And when the marriage doesn't work, it doesn't matter what happened or what didn't work.
Yeah.
You know, women tend to get the flack many times because we tend to have a role that integrates the husband, the partner, the children, the home, you know, just the role of who a woman is, and even the identity of a woman in marriage, you know. And the older generation, as Anne mentioned, you know, in their days there was no divorce, there was no separation. It didn't matter what you were going through, even if it was physical abuse, you know. You just stood there, you just stuck it through. And so it's almost like an expectation. Some of the older women that maybe we approached, let me speak on my own experience.
Yeah.
There's nowhere to take your voice. There's nowhere. There's no room. It's almost like the conversation on menopause.
Yeah.
Every woman will go through it, but there's nowhere to explain or to share that this is what I'm going through. It's expected that, you know what, you get it together. You hold it together. You need to be strong enough. So there's a sense of failure. If you know, your union, your marriage didn't work for one reason or another, then it's you who failed.
Yeah.
It's never looked as the man. It's never, and I think that always even plays out, because even when a woman does get divorced and decides to remarry, there is always a lot of flack, like you rightly from society. But when a man does that, you know. So I want to ask you, Jackie, how much pressure? Because you've talked about there is a lot of pressure because we are considered the glue. You know, how much pressure to stay in marriages comes from fear of the public opinion versus the reality of what the relationship is like?
Thank you again for that question. The fear of public opinion, the fear of other people's judgment, as Anne mentioned, the fear of being perceived as a failure, the fear of, yani ata mimi, ata wewe, you know, the fear of standing up and saying, this is not working for me. It's almost like you're stigmatized, you're ostracized, even by others who are going through similar or, God forbid, worse situations. It's just one of those things that you don't talk about, you know? Or rather, like I said, the voice is not welcome. Yeah, so I think just that fear of being judged, the fear of feeling like you have failed, the fear of, and the personal fear of, like in my situation, I came from a background where when I was growing up, that's something that I saw in my own family. So I had made a decision, I had made a deal with God that, you know what, this is not going to happen in my time, in my space. And so when it did happen, and that's not to say that the whole marriage was absolutely difficult. We had beautiful moments. You know, we had memories that I carry with me till today. You know, and the best of those was my 2 beautiful daughters. So it wasn't all bad, but I think the pressure, the expectation to make it work, to hold that space, regardless of whether you're falling apart, the expectation of society and even within, because I think I really pushed myself. And so for me, it was all of 7 years. And that might not sound like a long time, but it was a complete time. That's the time that was assigned for that particular union. And I'm grateful that I was able to go within and to stand up to the voices, to stand up to my own voice, to stand up to the self-doubt, to stand up to maybe I could have done more, maybe I could have done this better. So that public opinion, if you're not secure in yourself, remember I carried some baggage from my own childhood as a girl. So I hadn't healed at that point. So I was still carrying that baggage. And so it clouded my clarity, it clouded my judgment, it clouded my vision of who I am, my identity. And so because of that, I gave in to that opinion, that public, you know, that public.
Even when you were falling apart.
Even when I was falling apart. But I'll just add very quickly, at the end of the day, I made a choice to stand on my square of truth. Because no one else was wearing my shoes. Nobody knew what I was going through. And I stood on that square of truth, and I chose honesty. I chose to be honest with myself, with my partner, my husband then. I chose to be honest about what I was feeling, what I was not getting, what I was not able to handle. And as a result, I am here today, 15 years later.
Do you think that social media in its own, WhatsApp, Nini, Twitter, TikTok, is making it harder for couples first to stay or easier for them to walk away?
In my opinion, that's a double-edged sword.
It is.
Because right now, we're in this platform having this conversation. I went through this journey on my own until I came across a page, a community of women where like talk about divorce, co-parenting.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I wished I knew about this forum before, because it's helped in my healing.
Yeah.
We get to share stories, we encourage each other. And for me, as I said, it's double-edged. I mean, it's how you look at it.
I think it is. I think there are people who stay together, especially if we start looking at our influencers, you know. The influencers have this whole couple goals thing that is going on. So you end up staying to, not even influencers, everybody, because these people who we see, we scroll and we just feel green with envy, because wewe huku munakulana kichwa na mtoto wa mtu, and then people are over there doing couple goals and flowers and stuff like that. And I think social media, you're right, is a double-edged sword, or media even in general around such matters, because there are some people who are going to make you feel, what is wrong with me? Why can't I have that?
I was couple goals.
Yes, yours was couple goals.
Social media couple. We were. So in fact, our breakup came as a shock. You guys on Facebook, you look so happy.
Imagine.
You know, but it's unfortunately
behind closed doors.
No, as she said, there were good moments, and we shared many of those. So we created this very rosy picture, because we were very vocal in our good moments. We go out of town, we go for rallies and all that stuff. But you know,
behind the scenes, things were different.
And it's just balancing the pros and cons.
I guess when it comes to social media, sometimes it's always important to weigh what is out there. Look at what serves you, look at what does not serve you, and always remember there is so much more that meets the eye. You know, after separation, how do you begin to rediscover who you are outside the relationship? I mean, for you both, it is such a blessing to know that, you know, by the time you were getting hitched, you sort of already had your own identity, you sort of already had your work, you know, and then so at some point you became a Mrs. Who. Now, how do you go rediscovering yourself, knowing that as women, we have to rediscover ourselves like every quarter? You see, you have to roll in a new Helen, and there's a new, now I'm in this stage. So how do you go about rediscovering yourself after separation?
Let me start by saying, I love the word you've used, rediscovering, which means it's not the first time. You're going back to understanding who you were, who I was. And let me start from the place immediately after the separation and eventually the divorce. Ashiko, Karimi, I was devastated. I was devastated. I can't begin to explain or express that pain. I don't have English words to use to describe where I was. Because I initiated. I actually walked away and I initiated. Right? I'm not going to go into the details of the why. But for me, it was a dual loss, because, you know, and divorce, as we speak about it, is not just about losing your partner or your spouse. It's about losing your children. It's about losing the people that you love on both sides. And suddenly, I just found myself alone, solo, me, myself, and I. And I had to come to terms with the truth of what was my greatest fear. My greatest fear was the fear of being alone. So you want to imagine the space I was in there?
Oh, damn.
I was truly devastated. And I think for me, the journey to rediscovering myself started with intentionally slowing down and asking myself very pertinent questions. Who am I? What has happened to me? Why am I feeling like someone has died? And this person, part of this person was me. Parts of myself, I lost parts of myself. You know, my identity as a married woman. I didn't realize how much even wearing a ring carries a sense of identity. And for me, I took my ring off, like, we separated in December. By January, that ring was off.
Was off?
Yes.
Wow.
And so I had to, what that did for me was to shine the light from external to internal.
Yes.
To get me to begin to ask very difficult questions. Why have I found myself here? How have I found myself here? To separate myself from the temptation, and that temptation is really big,
I can
is big, to
imagine
blame,
that, yeah.
to keep pointing fingers and
Yeah.
saying if so and so did or didn't do, and begin to start to look at how may I have contributed
to
finding
situation.
myself in this space. You know, if it was communication, I know that was one of the big things in my own marriage.
Yeah.
You know, could I have done it better? And so going back into the recesses, I love the Bible. I'm currently reading Job,
Yeah.
Job 38, when God was asking Job those hard questions.
Yes.
Have you walked in the deep recesses of the sea?
Yeah.
I had to go back into the deep recesses of myself. Those parts of my heart that I didn't realize I had closed, shut, swallowed the key, you know, padlocked and swallowed that key. And begin to ask myself those questions. What is this heart that I'm feeling? Why? And so for me, I realized, it took me a long time, but I realized that I couldn't do it on my own. As a woman of faith, yes, I leaned on my faith and I prayed a lot and I was walking with the word. But I realized that I needed to start by going through therapy. And so
Yeah.
I learned about how pain was spilling over into every area of my life. I learned about a pain pocket. So just like you have a pocket in your dress, you should have a pocket to put your pain. Pain, even as it comes up, should not spill over into every other area of my life.
Yeah.
I learned about self-awareness, clarity. Who am I? Where do I want to go?
Yeah.
You know? So that really helps me to go back to the foundation, and then from there begin to build brick by brick, layer by layer. And today I'm still building.
Oh, wow.
But I can be able to tell this story without tears.
Without tears, I'm
And
so
for
proud
me,
of you.
I think that is great growth.
That is growth
And
beyond, yeah. And I like
yes.
your rawness and your honesty. You know, just before we take a break, Karimi, I'll ask you to very briefly, you know, how did you start to rediscover yourself? You were always ABCD's wife, you know, couple, Instagram, couple goals, etc. How do you start rediscovering Anne Karimi after the separation? Very briefly.
Okay, one thing I need to tell you is I was 35.
Yeah.
Career woman, had a very good job. Marriage wasn't really for me, but there was so much pressure. Oh, you need to get married and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So in fact, when I came into my marriage,
Yeah.
I was so confident because I'm mature, I have a good job. I won't go through all these issues that married
That
people
younger ladies would, yeah.
go through. But when it happened, and I was like, no, I'll stick it through. And of course now, and I used to lean so much on my mom, and would pray, you know, tell her, I can't do this. I don't think marriage is for me. I need to say something. I have anger issues.
Yeah.
Maybe it's from where I come from.
Yeah.
But I will call you out, like I call
From
out.
Nyeri,
Yeah, but I'm from Nyeri.
Yeah.
I'm from a typical Nyeri Kikuyu woman. But
Yes.
anyway, and I think that's where the issue used to be now with my ex. And my mom would really tell me, tone it down a bit. Don't
Yeah.
be so aggressive, and
Yeah.
just don't ask, don't question everything. So my mom was my pillar. And what happened? Both my parents passed away in 2018.
Yes.
So there was just this void. Wah! And then you see, you cannot keep on going to your in-laws to say, oh, your son.
To go
this
and
and this
complain about their own
Yeah,
child.
So it
I
got
find
to
that
a
so
point,
comical.
it really bottled up, and I just said, I can't do this.
Yeah.
But I left with my daughter. So I couldn't even think about myself. My daughter was so devastated. She was 11. For me, I focused so much on that girl, and it was not easy because it wasn't. Co-parenting is not easy, but
Yeah.
I'm glad that now we are at a space where
You're at a
maybe I
space,
am, but
yeah,
it's
yeah.
been a journey. So therapy has really helped.
Really
Yeah,
helps,
and now
yeah.
to a point where now we're in a good space with him, and we are co-parenting very well.
So we're going to take a small break, and I really hope that you are as invested in this conversation as I am, and I hope it's helping for anybody who's going through something similar, or you know someone who's going through something similar. I hope the conversation, the rawness, the honesty, the truth, the depth of this conversation is assisting you. So we're going to take a short break, and then we'll be back for the question and answer session. Don't go far away.
Wakenya, ni wakati mwingine wa kuhakikisha kuwa umefile KRA returns. Je, uko rada una challenge yoyote? Usiwe na shaka. KRA wakishirikiana na KBC Channel 1 wanakuja hapo ulipo kusaidia kufile returns na kulipia ushuru wako. Jiunge na msafara wa KRA Roadshow, uwe fiti mambo ya returns. Ijumaa ya tarehe 8 mwezi Mei tunazuru eneo la Kiambu kuanzia Kikuyu, Limuru, Kimende, Kagwi, Githunguri, Kiambu Town, Banana na kisha tumalizie Ruaka. Tarehe 30 Juni kwa mlangoni. Usingoje hadi dakika za mwisho. File KRA returns mapema. Ishi bila stress. Jijue, jibeta. KRA, tulipe ushuru, tujitegemee.
I never felt this way before. You don't have other plans? How about you come to my place?
Back in the day, if you said that, it would mean you're firing us.
A personal matter affected you. And your promotion. I'm really sorry. He lives here too. Every day. He only talks to the staff or the guests. Does he really know more about feelings?
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, remember today's conversation is all about divorce, separation, healing, moving on, rebuilding your life. And we've had the honor and the privilege of having two divorcees join us, share with us their story, and it has it's been wonderful. It's truly inspirational stuff. And I'm hoping you at home is actually benefiting from this conversation. Remember to keep this conversation going on all our socials at Dada's Show KBC on Facebook, KBC Channel 1, across all social media platforms, and of course, Ashiko the host, across all social media platforms. Let me know what you think about this conversation and any other we've had in other episodes. So we are on my favorite part of the show, which is the question and answer session. I'm sure my audience have questions for our wonderful panelists. I'm sure you also have questions. Please remember to write them to us. We will definitely get to them when we get the opportunity. What is your question to Anne? What is your question to Jackie in regards to today's conversation? So to start us off, we've got Modhoni. Modhoni has a question for Jackie. Modhoni, karibu sana.
Thank you so much, Anne and Jackie. And I loved your insights about what you said about women being expected to be the glue that holds everything together, being expected to put up with a lot, being expected to get it together and hold it together. So my question is, and you're both mothers to daughters, how are you raising your daughters? Are you raising them to believe that they should also be long-suffering women? And also, on the other side of the coin, how are the boys being raised? Are they being raised to also expect that women and the girls that they're dating should put up and they should be the glue that holds everything together? That's my question.
Thank you very much, Modhoni, for that open and genuine question. Indeed, it is true. I have taken time in my own experience. I'm raising two girls. They're now adults. I left when they were very young. The oldest was 5. My youngest had just turned 3. So they were very young. And what I did is I realized that in my own experience, I lost my voice. And so what I did at the age-appropriate time, I sat with my daughters and I brought them in to explain to them in an age-appropriate way what has truly transpired between their dad and me, conscious that this is their father. And it's a role that will never be changed. And he's a great dad, by the way, you know? So I was able to help them understand what happened. I actually sat down with a decree nisi, which is the document you get from the government that annuls your marriage, and I read it to them. and I had them ask me questions and I explained. What has that done? It has given them a voice to be able to understand that you can make choices, but also that the choices have consequences. And so taking responsibility for your choices, taking responsibility for your actions, and taking responsibility to speak and to say, this I'm able to do, this I can't do. And what that did is it has strengthened our relationship. You know, just like any other relationship in life, it has taken a toll on them. You know, I've seen a change. I've seen a difference in how they engage, in how they're able to explain even to their friends, how they're able to relate to other children who've been through situations like we have been through, you know. And so allowing them to see the truth and also allowing that truth to speak in their life. But the best part for me is that it allowed me to break a cycle. Now, I remember I mentioned that I came from a situation where that happened in my own family. And traditionally, it's usually the husband or the man who leaves. It's not very common, especially in our culture, in our tradition here, our African setting, that a woman would leave and leave her children that young. But what that has done is it has broken a cycle. It has allowed them to build a beautiful and a very strong relationship with their father, and helped them to build an identity and a relationship so that as they grow, and now they're young adults, as they navigate that space of finding partners and finding relationships, they're not doing that from a space of brokenness, from a space of hurt and resentment. They're able to do that because they have a good relationship with their father. So I hope I've answered that question, but being very honest, very genuine. Yani, I had to read some difficult words to my daughters and to remove that mask, to stop wearing that mask we all learned to wear in 2024, and to be honest with them and create a space and a platform where they can ask hard questions as well. But mommy, why did you leave us? And I could correct that and say, I didn't leave you. Because of what happened, I was asked to leave. And so that being able to speak truth into that situation. Now they have a right to then respond in their own individual, unique way. And then it's my turn as a mother to hold that space for them and to let them know that I will love them unconditionally.
Thank you, Jackie, for that. We're going to move on, because of time, we're going to move on to our next question. That is from Agnes. Agnes, karibu sana.
What I want to ask is, what should someone consider before leaving a marriage?
Thank you, Agnes, for that question. And it's indeed a very paramount conversation that us women who've left have with ourselves. And I really want to just to touch on the question, because they're intertwined.
Yeah.
In my case, my daughter was older, and so she had witnessed some things. One thing people forget is that the children, they hear, they feed off the energy. They can tell there's something wrong. And in as much I was debating on when I should leave, why I should leave, what should I consider, the first thing I thought about was now the impact it will have on my child. And coincidentally, like when we were having now the conversations of why, she mentioned things I used to hear this. I saw you crying. That was actually more painful than leaving. Now, to answer your question, the first thing you need to consider, first of all, is the co-parenting dynamics, because you have to synergize, like whether it's visitation. I know friends and have heard of cases where after separation, there's no synergy. So the parents are fighting, the kids are affected. So it's just getting that level ground, like will I be able to effectively co-parent with the partner? Then there is shared properties. You find now couples living in court. This is mine. This was what did you buy together? You know, that's something people don't forget. And let me tell you, it now trickles down again to co-parenting. Because if you're fighting about properties, you're not seeing eye to eye, the child is affected because you're still angry. You're still angry at each other. impact it has on, and I'm just talking from experience, because you see, so this child is being forced to choose between two families. So I have my in-laws who are really half and half. She has to go and see her grandmother, she has to visit her aunties from that side of the family. So for me, I think the most thing to consider so much is the kids, and people forget that and run to properties because the kids are the most affected. You stay because of the kids, but they're seeing what's going on. You know, and you see, they might not voice it, but after the fact, they tell you, yeah, I knew what was going on. I would hide myself in the covers.
When I would
That's
hear
so
you
sad.
fighting,
And she said, we are breaking the norm. Because that scenario with my daughter is not new to what I witnessed in my past with my family and or what have you. But you see, I don't want a scenario where, now to answer her question again and adding on to what she's saying, where my daughter feels like it's okay.
Let's get our final question from Wanjiko. Wanjiko, karibu sana.
My question is, what is the impact of divorce on the kids?
Definitely the impact of divorce, especially for my girls. They were young, as I mentioned, that when I left. It has, a family is supposed to be a place of refuge. It's supposed to provide a place of identity, security. You know, it took that away from them suddenly, and we didn't get an opportunity to sit down with them and explain to them what was happening. So it impacted them, their mental health. It has impacted their performance at school. It has impacted as they grew as teenagers, being able to articulate and use a voice to explain, this is how I'm feeling, use words to express what they're feeling. And they went through grief as well. They lost a father, they lost a mother. That life that they could have had of a family together, you know, they grieved, and I see it better. They've been through therapy as well, but it was devastating for them, and my heart goes out to them and to any children that have to go through this kind of an experience. If we were to do things differently, I would definitely have sat with the girls and found a way, again, that is age appropriate, to just explain that this is what is happening, and therefore you're not going to see mommy as often. Therefore, you will not find mommy at home when you come back from school. Then that doesn't take them by surprise. It was a shock to their system. And I thank God that they're not in that shock anymore. But definitely it has had both positive and negative impacts. Why would I say positive? Because they've had to find their own identity and to navigate that space, and they're doing it beautifully. And for that, I can only give glory to God.
Thank you so
Thank you
much
very
for that.
much.
I'm a firm believer of it is okay to learn from mistakes. It's okay to learn from decisions. It's okay sometimes to even take on the consequences. But one thing we need to do is we need to deal with ourselves with a lot of grace. You know, half of the time, some of the things that we do, we only do the best with the resources that we had, with the capacity that we had at the moment. And I believe your girls right now, they see you, they appreciate you. And I'm sure your story is going to be so inspirational to very many women who are going through something similar. You know, what about you, Karimi? What was the impact of the divorce? Because you did mention that your daughter was very close to your ex.
I think I should stress that impact of divorce depends a lot on the after. It's how you navigate that journey after. Because she may have been devastated in the first year, but after that, now when we got that level ground where we could co-parent, and she says, in fact, she has a better relationship with her dad because now he's more present. We have days when it's his turn to go to school, you know. So she says, and she says that I'm happy. As you said, a happy mother, a happy child. So it was a bit tough in the beginning because she felt like she's having to choose sides. She'd feel guilty that she's staying with me and not the dad. But it's a journey, and it does get better. It does get better. And we have those conversations. As she said, I had to talk to her about it, why I left, why I'm not going back.
Because those questions, are you going to get back together? I'm like, no, let's just co-parent, and yeah, so far so
and
good.
this is what it is.
Yeah.
And this is our new reality, you know, and families take on different shapes and sizes. I've always found that to be a very real, you know, affirming statement, especially to younger children. You know, families take different shapes and sizes. I remember I had to have that conversation with my son, you know, because when he's coming of age and he starts asking, you know, where's my dad, where's this, and you have to sit and say, families come in all shapes and sizes. Ours is just me and you, you know, he's there, but it's just me and you. And when they start accepting that as a reality of life, just the same way we wake up every morning, the same way we eat food and we go to sleep, then it becomes normalized, and people can start accepting each other. And of course, divorce and separation will stop being used as a tool against mostly against women, you know. So thank you so much for that. I want to give an opportunity very, very briefly to my panelists to give us one parting shot. Right now we are talking to the woman who is watching us from you know, from her house. Maybe she's recently separated, divorced, or thinking about it, and is struggling with some of the, you know, some of the things that both of you had to struggle. Should I do this? Should I not? What will society say? What will my family say? What will the church say? You know, so please give her one word of encouragement. 1 word, 1 minute. I will start off with you, Jackie. What is your parting shot?
I would say to the woman who is making this decision, it's okay. Embrace, accept, own your journey. No one else can tell you what to do or the choice to make. But I will finish by saying, my story was never meant, on my journey, was never meant to imprison me. Actually, it is the story that has now liberated me. So, in the beginning, it may be tough. Sit with the discomfort, sit in the pain, allow it to transform you. Transmute the pain and the sorrow into release, into rest, and into restoration, whichever way God chooses for you and for your family. Be blessed.
Thank you so much. I feel like we need to give a round of applause for that one. It's really beautiful. Thank you so much. That is powerful. That is truly powerful. Karemi, what about you? What's your parting shot?
Said it better.
Yeah.
I couldn't have said it better. In fact, like, I don't even think I need to say anything.
But in your words.
Of course. What I can say is it does get better.
It does
and
get better.
And don't feel guilty. We're in a different generation. We have so many support groups. So you don't have to feel alone. I was alone on my journey. So now we have so many groups. We have such forums. You get? So it does get better.
It does
Don't
get better.
feel guilty. I mean, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
I love that. We need to clap for it is what it is.
It is what it is.
I love that. And to be honest, isn't it what it is? You know, I think life is what you make it. And when we learn to prioritize ourselves and our happiness, you know, then we can be able to fully enjoy life and execute our potential, and even be fully there for people who we love and we care for. So on that note, we have definitely come to the end of another illuminating episode of Dada's Show. Remember, if you missed this episode, you know, the better chunk of it, you can always find all our episodes on our Dada's Facebook page. That is Dada's Show KBC. You can find previously aired episodes. You can also find us on YouTube. Keep in touch with us. Let us know what you think. Let us know what we should discuss next. So on behalf of the production team at KBC, my wonderful location partner, Panari Hotel here on Mombasa Road, myself, Ashiko Mbune, I wish you all a graceful week. Love on yourself. Appreciate yourself. Celebrate yourself in whichever shape, form you come in. We love you and we appreciate you. Until next time, bye for now.
coming up on the Prime Edition.
Watuna mafuta naenda kwa petrol station like yesterday. Nimeshinda huko Wayaki way yote. Mafuta ilikuwa inapatikana huko Westland Ola peke yake.
Fuel shortage enters the third day in several towns, even as the government insists that the country is fuel secure.
We will return normalcy and sustain normalcy. It is barbaric for citizens to kill one another.
The Mwingi killings. Deputy President Kithure Kindiki now assures residents of adequate security. And senators decry deprivation of counties of equalization funds amounting to 62 billion shillings.
I'm Pamela Mtanga, and you're watching AfriMax.
Monaghan Farm on the outskirts of Johannesburg is a 1,300-acre space that will only develop 3% of the land. This leaves the rest of the land in its natural state and undisturbed, creating a sense of belonging for homeowners and for a beautiful view of the landscape. But before we move on to the nitty-gritty part of the house and how this farm addresses sustainability, let's visit Kenya to see how one woman's vision enables the detailed work of craftsmen to morph into the latest must-have accessory.
Our bags are Akire. Everything we do is handmade. There's no machine.
Erica Akath, known for her concept store in Nairobi, has since 2020 brought new handcrafted luxury bags onto the market. Wanting to work with leather, she has collaborated with Moses Ekwi, creating the 7 different bespoke handcrafted bags.
I came up with Akire, the handcrafted leather bags, because when I looked at the market, I understood that I wanted to make a bag that will speak of the African continent without going deeper. I evolved to becoming a designer because I was working with the Turkana women for roughly 2 to 3 years, and I liked the weaving. So the weaving is very different from other parts in Kenya. Here we are the workshop. Erica here is with Ekwi, and this is like a symbiosis relationship where it works perfectly. We work in harmony.
To make the bag, you require materials, the right material. When I get the right material, I come with it. Then I apply the dye. I slice the material. Then I start doing the stitching. When I'm buying this material from the tannery, it's usually this color. And then it comes to me, I try and make it look appealing. I apply the dye, then it becomes like this. It makes me happy and gives me hope to see that Akire appreciates what I do for her. It makes me want more to improve on this product. This piece of metal is used to smoothen the edges of the material after stitching.
So this is like the finished product, where we'll do the other leather to hold this. Because the beadwork is done by the Maasai people. Then he's going to make the patching, as you have watched earlier. Then we do the stitching, and then it comes to this product. So that is raw, that is almost done. Then you get here. You can see the amuka. This is almost done because the craftsman has cut them. But this process is the most difficult. So we said it takes a lot of days because to do that we have a mold. But to have a mold we use a sculpturist. So it's a wood sculpturist before we pour this, and then it becomes a mold. Everything is handmade. And you'll understand why it's luxury, because it's somebody's sweat and everything is to details. The collection for Akire is for everyone, but also at the same time, my bag was created for the people who are cultured, they're awake, and they still want to keep the tradition for themselves. As you can see, it takes roughly 18 days to finish the Amuka collection. Yes.
It's basically a piece of home anywhere I go, and the fact that it's made in Kenya just makes it more worth it, and it's quite interesting and quite African, and I can wear it with anything.
My favorite aspect is the face, right? The face looks like it's going from a traditional aspect of storytelling to the future. That's my most favorite part about it.
Creating these, it's everything. I wake up in the morning, I sleep with it. So it's constantly, not disturbing, but it's constantly in your mind. Like, what will I improve? What am I missing?
We traveled to Kigali to visit designer Matthew Rugamba to see what he is all about.
One of the things I'm trying to do right now is to create the dress code.
Aside, he is dedicated to building up the...
To be very intentional about the impact on our society and our community. We really endeavor to look at the whole ecosystem of the way we work and who, like, what goes into the shirts you see here. And there are so many parts, and we have to, as a team, we try to be conscious about that. So it's really about innovation, and it's about investing in innovation. It has to be part of our business model.
I'm here where modern farm living is attracting many families to set up their homes. With me today is Gillian Hall from Felt Architects, who will be taking me through this wonderful masterpiece of a house. It's Buitendach House. Now, the first thing I noticed as I walked in is the view when you enter is incredible.
Yes, we are incredibly privileged to have designed in this amazing space. It has a view of the Renosterspruit Conservancy Mountains, which are absolutely gorgeous. We try and integrate our buildings as much as possible with the natural landscape. In this particular house, we created roof gardens. So we took the landscape that we actually disrupted and we put it on top of the house.
Wow.
We introduced indigenous landscape throughout because it attracts all the birds and the natural fauna and flora of the environment. The orientation of the house plays a very big role. So orientating correct to the north, just off north for Gauteng is very important. It's such a simple principle, but it makes a very big difference in the energy efficiency of your building. We've got a system in the house that's integrated that catches all the water and goes to a central underground water tank. And from there, it's pumped into all the water systems in the house and circulated.
name is Irene Muigai.
My name is Steve Muigai Kim. We met at campus at Egerton University, Joro.
I just saw a guy and we grew to be very good friends. But
alikuwa nakatiwa anakuja ananiambia niliachwa.
And he asked me to be the girlfriend.
Dad did not attend their wedding.
Mom, Dad ako wapi? Kwani hawajafika? My uncle had to be pulled.
We differed. Ile mbaya ile ya kuachana. Just because of a key holder. Was it a key holder?
And so I'm very intentional as a mom to help my kids process things.
Who apologizes first after a fight?
Oh.
Welcome back to Semana Spokes from Nagamba.
Semana Spokes is the platform where Wananchi engage, query the government, and the government responds. It's your time to be informed. Don't miss Bonga Nagava every Thursday at 8 p.m. only on KBC Channel 1.
Semana Spokes.
In a world where news is ever-changing, staying informed is more important than ever.
Join us every week on News Check, your go-to show for the latest in current affairs, breaking news and in-depth analysis.
A warm welcome to KBC News Check.
From politics to global events, we bring you content that matter to you.
We're not just speaking about the governance and how we want to see it, but want to actually participate.
Get your facts, hear from the experts, and really understand what is happening around you.
We need to change our system first.
You have to do the impossible to make sure the message is home.
Stay ahead, stay informed, stay engaged.
Will these people, everybody agree?
Just listen to me.
Let's give him a chance to clear the air.
Catch News Check every Tuesday and Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Only on KBC Channel 1.
Education is the foundation of our nation's future, and its transformation begins now. It is for this reason that the Ministry of Education invites you to the Second National Education Conference 2026 under the theme Driving Education Reforms Through Effective Leadership, Accountability and Collaboration. Join education leaders, policy makers, and stakeholders from 6th to 10th May 2026 at the Lake Naivasha Resort, together for transformative education reforms.
Dial *524# today. If you believe you're the smartest and you deserve a spot on the Bongo Quiz show, play now. You can test your skills by playing Bongo Quiz, Bongo Express, or Bible Study. There's a million questions from different categories to be answered. Dial *524# and test your skills.
The oil crisis in Kenya is snowballing into a major economic crisis. And this is coming at a time when the US and Iran are hoping to strike a deal that is expected to end almost 3 months of hostilities, which have pushed the global economy into a spin. Will the deal go through? And what will be the future of oil prices? Good evening and thank you very much for joining us. We are live from Broadcasting House and my name is O'Brien Kimani. You're watching the Prime Edition. We have a detailed coverage of the day's events and you're watching this newscast live from Broadcasting House. We have more details coming up after the highlights.
Hatuna mafuta, naenda kwa petrol station like yesterday, nimeshinda huko Wayaki way yote. Mafuta ilikuwa inapatikana huko Westland Ola peke yake.
Fuel shortage enters the third day in several towns, even as the government insists that the country is fuel secure.
We will return normalcy and sustain normalcy. It is barbaric for citizens to kill one another.
The Mwingi killings. Deputy President Kithure Kindiki now assures residents of adequate security. And senators decry deprivation of counties of equalization funds amounting to 62 billion shillings. Welcome to the country's most trusted newscast. My name is O'Brien Kimani. Our sign language interpreter is Lucy Mwaura. Fuel stockout continued for the third day in many parts of the country as the government moved in to quell shortage fears. Several retailers in Nairobi recorded long queues with motorists facing the risk of stalled vehicles. Energy Cabinet Secretary Opiyo Wandayi has blamed the fuel shortage on a system hitch which is curtailing the normal distribution of fuel. Alan Naoko starts off the newscast with this report.
Nairobi and many other parts of the country. Frustrated motorists have been spending hours to energize their vehicles. The situation has been building up over the last week as supply chain disruptions affected many retailers. Data from the Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority, Kenya's average daily fuel consumption stands at approximately 15.4 million litres, with diesel being the most consumed at 9.1 million litres per day. Driven by public transport, heavy-duty trucks and industrial machinery, super petrol stands at 6.3 million litres per day, primarily used by private passenger vehicles and motorcycles.
Sababu hatuna mafuta, naenda kwa petrol station like yesterday, nimeshinda huko Wayaki way yote. Mafuta ilikuwa inapatikana huko Westland Ola peke yake.
Ishi ya mafuta imekuwa ngumu sana, unapata unazunguka kama sasa hivi tumeingia petrol station kama 3.
Hapa unajua kuna shida kidogo, mafuta yako kwa upungufu sana. Ukuje kwa wiki kama hapo nyingi.
Now the government has moved to allay fears, insisting that Kenya is fuel secure.
We have got adequate fuel supplies in the pipeline system. Honorable Speaker, all the products, petrol, diesel, kerosene, jet fuel, Honorable Speaker.
Responding to questions by members of the Senate, Energy Cabinet Secretary Opiyo Wandayi has said the government is engaging with oil marketers and the Kenya Pipeline Company.
I just want to appeal to Kenyans to be patient and to bear with us as we address some of these small hitches.
This comes even as public health practitioners warned of a looming health crisis caused by high sulfur content in fuel used locally.
The presence of sulfur in anything can cause a lot of health issues. Like I've said, the issue to do with the upper respiratory inspections and also the issue to do with the pollution.
The 6-month waiver that targets both petrol and diesel is meant to alleviate fuel shortages amid fears that the sulfur emissions could lead to an increase in respiratory diseases.
This comes even as countrywide motorists confirm if fuel stocks are back to normal. Alan Naoko, Prime Edition.
Thank you, Alan Naoko, for that report. President William Ruto received letters of credence from 3 new envoys to Kenya at State House today, that is on Wednesday. The ambassadors are Paulo Neves Poncino of the Republic of Portugal, Matt Borg from United Kingdom, and Gabriel Pendureni Sinimbo from the Republic of Namibia.
He is now beginning his tenure of Ambassador of Portugal to Kenya.
Before his new posting to Nairobi, Ambassador Pocinho served as Portugal's envoy to Pakistan, also accredited to Afghanistan, and as ambassador to Qatar from the year 2022. He joined the Portuguese Foreign Service in the year 1990 and served in multiple embassies, consulates and multilateral missions of Portugal abroad, including the Embassy of Portugal in Mexico, Consul General of Portugal in Newark, Goa and Paris, and also served in Portugal's mission to the Council of Europe.
The historic and cultural bonds uniting our two nations are long-standing and profound. Common cultural heritage in Mombasa and Malindi are important symbols of that deep connection.
Born in the year 1962, he studied philosophy at the University of Coimbra. He is married with 3 children.
He holds qualifications in electrical training, marketing, public administration, and international trade.
Ambassador Bog's career spanned senior security, diplomacy and development roles within the United Kingdom, culminating in his appointment as British High Commissioner to Kenya in April the year 2026. He served as the Director for Immigration and Conflict at the Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office. Before that, he was the Director of Euro-Atlantic Security between the year 2022 and the year 2024. From 2010 to the year 2013, Ambassador Bo served as the British envoy to Somalia, the first such appointment in 2 decades. He graduated from the Higher Command and Staff course in the UK Defence Academy in the year 2010. Before his posting to Nairobi, Ambassador Sinimbo served as High Commissioner in Tanzania with concurrent accreditation to Kenya, Rwanda, Burundi, Uganda, Comoros and Somalia. He previously served as High Commissioner to India and has held senior public service and private sector roles.
Reaffirm Namibia's commitment to deepening our cordial bilateral relations and commend Kenya's leadership and hospitality in hosting the Africa-French Summit.
On receiving the credentials, President Ruto welcomed and urged them to deepen cooperation and expand opportunities for mutual benefit of both nations.
Do accept your letters of credence and authorize you to pursue the interests of your country within Kenya's territory and within the law, and by so doing, promote to the widest possible the mutual aspirations of the people of our two nations.
Present were Deputy President Kithure Kindiki, Prime Cabinet Secretary and Cabinet Secretary for Foreign and Diaspora Affairs Musalia Mudavadi, among others. Michael Mondiga for Prime Edition.
As well, Deputy President Kithure Kindiki has assured residents of Kitui County that the government has firmed up security following recent killings in Sekuru and Kathungu areas. This after 7 people were killed by alleged camel herders and another 8 lost their lives in retaliation attacks in conflict along Garissa-Kitui border.
Speaking on Wednesday, after addressing the 3rd Annual Regulatory Authorities and Agencies Conference at Southeastern Kenya University in Kitui County, Deputy President Kithure Kindiki said a lasting solution to the conflict is achievable.
I want to give the assurance to the people of Kitui that we will return normalcy and sustain normalcy. It is barbaric for citizens to kill one another for whatever reason. We are taking every effort to make sure that those who are responsible for the death of quite a number of Kenyans, we take action.
He said the incident was a case of criminals taking advantage of the conflict associated with natural resources to maim innocent Kenyans.
And I don't think anybody has a right to graze another person's crops to save their livestock from death. As much as saving livestock from death is a legitimate objective, it cannot be used as a basis of violating the property rights of other people.
Kindiki warning that anyone involved in the conflict, be it a political leader or a government official, will not be pardoned.
Even between there is a political leader or a member of government, who is involved. That should not be a difficult thing because, crime is just crime.
The Deputy President also vowed that all security agencies were on high alert to prevent the reoccurrence of the deadly attacks that left a total of 15 people dead, including a 14-year-old grade 7 learner. Giverson Minor, Prime Edition.
And on that note, we're coming to the first break of the hour. Remember, you're watching the Prime Edition. And of course, when we are back, we're going to tell you why senators are up in arms over the Equalization Fund. Stay right here.
Nairobi, your time is now. Masani ya kutoka blog na KBC imeamua lazima uomoke. Tutakuwa tunakaa mtaa yako kukuomosha very fast. Jibu maswali zangu 3 tu. Tuone kama kweli wewe ni true fan wa KBC Channel 1. Na ukizipata 25K ni yako. So make sure una watch KBC Channel 1. Alafu kinicheki kwa streets. Niulize kana kuomosha leo. Omoka na KBC Channel 1. Wanga bad ni mbaya.
Education is the foundation of our nation's future, and its transformation begins now. It is for this reason that the Ministry of Education invites you to the second National Education Conference 2026 under the theme Driving Education Reforms Through Effective Leadership, Accountability and Collaboration. Join education leaders, policymakers and stakeholders from 6th to 10th May 2026 at the Lake Naivasha Resort, together for transformative education reforms.
Wakenya, ni wakati mwingine wa kuhakikisha kuwa umefile KRA returns. Je, uko rada una challenge yoyote? Usiwe na shaka. KRA wakishirikiana na KBC Channel 1 wanakuja hapo ulipo kusaidia kufile returns na kulipia ushuru wako. Jiunge na msafara wa KRA Roadshow, uwe fiti mambo ya returns. Ijumaa tarehe 8 mwezi Mei tunazuru eneo la Kiambu kuanzia Kikuyu, Limuru, Kimende, Kagwi, Githunguri, Kiambu Town, Banana na kisha tumalizie Ruaka. Tarehe 30 Juni kwa mlangoni. Usingoje hadi dakika za mwisho. File KRA returns mapema. Ishi bila stress. Jijue, jibeta. KRA, tulipe ushuru, tujitegemee.
Welcome back. Senators are calling for urgent reforms on the Equalization Fund to ensure the monies benefit the intended communities. During a heated debate on Wednesday afternoon, lawmakers raised concerns over delays in the disbursement of the fund, requesting the Exchequer to fast-track the disbursement of the funds.
Debate by senators while considering the Equalization Fund Appropriation Bill of 2025 brought to the fore deep-seated challenges that the lawmakers say have affected the purpose intended by the fund. The fund meant to finance basic services such as water, electricity, healthcare and infrastructure in underserved areas, according to the senators, has not been efficiently disbursed by the Treasury, with only 13.4 billion shillings distributed since its establishment.
The entitlement that this fund has is about 79.58 billion that needs to go into this fund, Mr. Speaker. And so far, we have only seen an appropriation of about 62 billion to this fund. And out of this, Mr. Speaker, a majority of it has not been given.
So for a period of 60 years, you don't have roads. And then you are being given installments of 12 billion, 16 billion. It will take proper lifetimes. There's people who will die in some of these areas without ever seeing electricity or roads. And I think for me, it is unfair because they continue to be Kenyans and they continue to pay taxes.
County bosses have also been put on the spot for the delays in the implementation of the projects.
There is a project between Isiolo and Oldonyiro, a bridge called Karandare. That project was allocated or rather funded in 2021 through Equalization Fund. If you go and see that project, Mr. Speaker, up to date, it's not even done 40%. People who are using that road and that bridge are still suffering.
So long as there's no complete project, so long as it is an array of a building that is at 60%, a bridge that is on 20%, Mr. Speaker, another hospital that is at 70%, it will never make sense to people, Mr. Speaker. In fact, the ultimate measure, Mr. Speaker, of a good manager of resources, a good governor, a good county government, Mr. Speaker, should be measured by projects that begin from start to completion.
In the financial year 2025-2026, counties under the equalization were allocated 10.6 billion shillings, with the next financial year's allocation being 16.8 billion shillings.
This 16.8 billion, I hope this amount will be put into good use so that we reduce the number of counties that are going to be qualifying for Equalization Fund as we progress.
May this House take note and make sure that we can be able to bring a stronger conversation on the honoring of what has been appropriated.
The senators have vowed to push for a clear strategy to ensure timely release and effective utilization of the funds, as well as full settlement of the arrears. For Prime Edition, I'm Gladys Mungai.
And many thanks, Gladys Mungai, for that report. A new campaign aimed at tackling the growing burden of lifestyle diseases in the country has been launched in Nairobi County, with health advocates now raising concerns about what is increasingly ending up as on Kenyan plates. The campaign by Food Policy Coalition Kenya brings together like-minded partners, including health advocates and religious organizations. It includes champions of clear front of pack warning labels on processed foods. The Ministry of Health estimates that nearly 39% of deaths in Kenya are linked to non-communicable diseases, with the hospital admissions also on the rise.
Today, the Food Policy Coalition Kenya has launched a campaign calling for clear front of pack warning labels on ultra-processed foods. These labels are designed to help consumers easily identify products high in sugar, salt, and fats.
The high prevalence of non-communicable diseases is placing an increasing pressure on families, communities, and the healthcare system in the country.
By making products easier to compare and understand, they empower consumers to make healthier choices for themselves and their families.
Consumers who are familiar with back-to-back information found it complex and difficult to interpret, and many do not take the time to read it before making purchase decisions.
Every Kenyan has the right to clear, easy to understand information about the food they consume.
Let's now move to the corridors of justice, where former KPP Member of Parliament and Minister for Lands, Amos Kimunya, has been acquitted in a case involving a 25-acre parcel of land in Jabini, Nyandarua County. Kimunya, who had been charged alongside two others accused with abuse of office, breach of trust and disposing of public property while serving as Minister of Lands in early 2000, had denied issuing verbal directions for the land alienation to Farmers Training Centre. While acquitting them, Chief Magistrate Harrison Barasa said the prosecution failed to prove beyond any reasonable doubt that the three charges against them.
The conclusion of the court is that the prosecution has failed to prove their case on all the remaining counts as against all the accused persons beyond any reasonable doubt. It finds the accused persons not guilty as charged and hereby proceed to acquit them under section 215 of the Criminal Procedure Code.
We are happy that the long journey has come to an end, and we hope that it will happen to all other Kenyans seeking justice, that the same truth always, prevailing, will prevail for all other Kenyans who may be suffering from similar circumstances. Free to pursue my other pursuits in life. Of course, not politics anymore. That one I have retired from it. I would like now to use my energy to inspire and mentor the young generation. Might find me in some lecture rooms using my doctorate now to impart knowledge. I couldn't do that by appearing in court, because then my students will be like saying, are we being taught by a guilty person or an accused? So now I'm free to venture into some of those things. And I hope to see some of you in those classes.
Looking for sisterhood, craving solidarity, ready for a space where every woman belongs? Then Dada's Show is the show for you. As we discuss real issues, support one another, and celebrate womanhood the Dada's Show way.
I never felt this way before. You don't have other plans? How about you come to my place?
Back in the day, you said that it would mean you're firing us.
A personal matter affected you. And your promotion. I'm really sorry. He lives here too. Every day. He only talks to the staff or the guests. Does he really know more about feelings?
Let's move on, where the Central Organization of Trade Unions has condemned DCP party leader Rigathi Gachagua's remarks directed toward Secretary General Francis Atwoli and the trade union.
We have a labor union led by a Secretary General, sorry to say, a professional broker.
The staff union, the management, the supervisors, all of us are rallying call to replace KOTU with the new labor.
It is the remarks by former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua proposing an alternative workers' organization separate from KOTU that is not syncing well with the trade unionists.
We are not fearing as many centers as possible. They can bring many centers. The law, the requirement is that the most representative national center is the one that is recognized by governments of each country and by extension by ILO.
And our constitution provides that every worker has a right to join a union of his choice. So this is not a threat.
So when Atwoli has been elected, then they need to wait until that time that we will exceed, so that if they are able to come.
The Central Organization of Trade Union KOTU has shrugged off the calls, claiming Gachagua is clinging on any straw to remain relevant in the political field.
We wish to inform him that trade unions are not political chaos created for overnight to satisfy wounded egos or personal vendettas. KOTU is a largely established national labor center.
Led by their chairperson, Reverend Joel Chebi, and the Deputy Secretary General of KOTU, Benson Okwaro, the union is accusing the DCP party leader of sowing seeds of doubt regarding the implementation of the recently announced 12% increment for general wages for workers and 15% for farmers, announced on Labor Day in Vihiga County.
They should know that KOTU We are doing what we are required, and we are elected individually through our, workers from industries.
Abdi Aziz Hashim for Prime Edition.
Let's now move to the counties where tensions ran high along the Oyugis-Kendu Bay Road in Homa Bay County after a border rider was killed in a road accident, sparking a violent mob attack on the lorry driver. The victim, identified as Victor Omondi, died on the spot after he was hit and dragged by a speeding lorry near Kabarok Junction. These and more stories next in our County News Roundup.
Witnesses accused the driver of reckless driving as he was heading to Oyugis, an action that angered border riders and nearby residents. The confrontation soon turned chaotic, with the angry mob attacking the driver, leaving him unconscious at the scene. They burned his vehicle, which was later towed to Oyugis police station as investigations continue. And a family from Luyeke within Sangalong Division in Bungoma County are in dire need of assistance of transporting the body of the 53-year-old man who had gone looking for greener pasture in Garissa County but fell sick and succumbed. The family of Benedict Barasa Osore, a father of 8, is now appealing to the public for help in bringing his body back home.
Sasa sina msaidizi yoyote, naomba tu mwenye anaweza kunisaidia anisaidie mwili itoke Garissa uchafu.
Elsewhere in Mtwati Sub-County, Meru County, learners in 85 public schools have received a major boost after the national government disbursed relief food to schools in the area. Mtwati Deputy County Commissioner Joel Kieti noted that the food assistance provided by the national government through the Ministry of Special Programs will go a long way in ensuring the retention of children in schools.
Itahakikisha wanafunzi wamekaa kwa shule, watafukuzwa juu ya karo. Itahakikisha kwamba wazazi wataenda kujishughulisha na mambo mengine ya kulima, kwa sababu tumepata mvua ya kutosha. Kwa hivyo hatakuwa na upungufu ya kupoteza wakati wa mashule zile zinapata hii chakula. Hii chakula msifukuze mwanafunzi kwa sababu ya karo, akae kwa shule, akule, asome, kwa sababu chakula iko kwa kutosha. Hii tamu mimi sitarajii kupatana na mtoto pale kwa jia akisema amefukuziwa karo. Kwa hivyo tunashukuru serikali, hata mwalimu amekubali, itatosha kwa huu muhula.
Finally, recent appointments to the board of Kisii National Polytechnic have sparked outrage from civil society activists in Kisii County, who are now calling for immediate cancellation, warning that failure to do so could trigger protest. The board appointments controversy comes amid ongoing leadership disputes at the institution following the transfer of the principal, among other issues.
PS TVET Kenya, in fact, to follow up very quickly, else tutapanga maandamano, kwa sababu haya maneno ambayo yamekuja ni wizi umepangwa ili kuiba pesa ya wananchi, na inahitaji ya kwamba yule ambaye atakuwa chair akona experience which is enough, managerial experience which is enough from the private sector or the public sector.
Michelle Mudeu for Prime Edition.
And you're watching the Prime Edition, and of course business news is coming up next after our second break.
For many, a wheelchair is more than just a device. It is a vital tool for independence and bridge to the world. It transforms personal mobility, allowing persons with disabilities to engage in their daily endeavors on their own terms.
When we make spaces accessible, we are not making it just for the persons with disabilities. We are empowering whole families, communities, and the society at large.
There's a long journey with disability inclusion. The question is, are you part of it?
We understand the challenges that you go through, but having that wheelchair, that is your freedom, that is your privacy.
Join us this Saturday as we remind our community to not only build for one, but build for everyone. I'll see you then.
Asawa wataka nini? Acha nikwambie Lizena. Wakati wako umeisha, na wakati wangu. Nasikia?
Lazima tutumie muda tulionao vizuri. Ongea nami tafadhali.
Kusudi la sarakasi ni nini?
Kwani Maimuna anaenda? Kwani unafanya nini tena?
Toki hapa mpaka niajadili ninayoongelea, sawa? Beko, niache. Hebu nisikize. Sitaki kusikiza, sitaki kukuona.
Nikirudi hapa sitaki kupata, kishasikia?
It's time now for business, where business activity is contracted in the month of April as high fuel prices lifted average cost burdens and dampened customer demand. The latest Stanbic Bank Kenya Purchasing Managers Index shows that business conditions declined for a second consecutive month, with the reading for April at 49.4. Readings above 50 signal an improvement in business conditions.
The headline Stanbic Bank Kenya Purchasing Managers Index had a reading of 49.4 in April, up from 47.7 in March, but remained below the 50.0 neutral threshold for the second month running. Stanbic Bank Kenya attributes the deterioration to the sharp increase in fuel prices due to the ongoing conflict in the Middle East. This has pushed up transport and production costs, forcing many businesses to raise prices. Consumers are now cutting back on spending, leading to reduced sales across key sectors such as retail, agriculture, and services. In response, businesses in Kenya reduced their output to a lesser extent compared to the previous month. In addition, higher cost and broader economic instabilities constrained business activity, but the softer fall in new orders alleviated some of these pressures. Despite these challenges, employment remains relatively stable. Companies continued hiring for the 15th consecutive month, although most of the new jobs are temporary, reflecting caution about the future. Business confidence slipped for the third month in a row, but remained positive overall. Furthermore, businesses look to develop plans, diversification efforts, and marketing spending as drivers of optimism.
Kenya is banking on the ongoing development project in the Horn of Africa region to optimize Lamu Port, South Sudan-Ethiopia transport corridor, better known as LAPSUT, to boost trade and support economic growth. Regina Manyara now joins us from Garabatula as the Kenya National Highways Authority tracks the progress of the Horn of Africa project.
I am committed to delivering on that 750 kilometer of road from Isiolo to Mandera, because for a very long time we have left northern Kenya behind.
And as the multi-billion shillings project takes shape, once sleepy pastoralist outposts such as Kulamawe, Garbatula and Modagashe are growing.
Communities living along the project road at Kulamawe, Garbatula, Boji, Kambisamaki, Eldera, onwards. These are settlements along the project road. At the peak, we had about 600 number of these local staff employed within the project.
The Horn of Africa Development Project is upgrading this vital 100-kilometer plus feeder route, feeding traffic directly into Lamu Port, South Sudan, Ethiopia transport corridor, LAPSUT's main link. In Garbatula, new businesses are drawing traders from across Isiolo.
At the peak, we had about 1,100 staff, both local and non-local, employed on this project. And therefore, these staff live within the project area and they promote local businesses.
Livestock markets, the backbone of socio-economic development here, is expanding, with herders moving animals faster while enhancing their income. Modagashe has a similar story, with business steadily growing while families enjoy smoother and shorter trips to their destination.
And one town center right in the middle of this particular project is Galbatula. And according to experts, by May 2027, this
is going to be a pivotal place to be or center for logistics as well as commercial development. I'm Regina Manyara reporting for KBC Channel 1 from Galbatula.
Regina Manyara doing a great job there tracking developments in the northern part of Kenya. The Ministry of Agriculture is collaborating with farmers and pig value chain stakeholders to expand market access for pig producers by 40% to open new opportunities for farmers. The initiative focuses on capacity building and creating an enabling environment for both farmers and private sector players.
The government is implementing the Pig Value Chain 2025-2029 strategy that seeks to increase productivity, access to market, and providing an enabling environment for producers to thrive. Currently, Kenya faces a pork shortage of about 15,000 tons annually.
We have about 15,000 metric tons that we are lacking, and we are projecting by 2030 we are going to have an increase of about 125%. Come and collaborate and partner with us, especially on disease surveillance and training and awareness.
Speakers at a farmers and stakeholders engagement in Murang'a underscored the need for closer collaborations by national and county governments, industry stakeholders, and farmers to grow pig production.
We intend to increase the productivity by around 35% by the year 2029. Two, we intend to increase access to markets for pig producers by 40% by the year 2029.
The key focus of the engagement is to double pork consumption from the current 400 grams per capita to 800 grams per capita, in line with the global nutritional recommendations, while unlocking market opportunities for farmers and improving food security and nutrition.
The pig value chain today it has about 1.5 million households participating in it. So if we double this, we are talking about 3 million. And assuming every household in Kenya today has about 5 people, if you have 3 million, you are talking about 15 million Kenyans, which is 25% of the population.
Pork is quite superior when it comes to nutrients such as selenium for immunity, vitamin B1 for energy, protein, as well as it is tasty and easy to cook.
For Prime Edition, I'm Ben Troyenjue.
The Anti-Counterfeit Authority has impounded a consignment of contraband auto spares in Kisumu. The consignment is believed to have been illegally imported from a neighboring country and was destined for distribution in Kenya. As Wycliffe Okech reports, the Anti-Counterfeit Authority is cautioning Kenyans to be vigilant when purchasing auto parts and other products.
The Anti-Counterfeit Authority on Wednesday mounted a crackdown in Kisumu, nabbing contraband motor vehicle spare parts.
We have seized counterfeit NGK, counterfeit Toyota parts, counterfeit brake pads of known brands. We are looking at the value approximately 30 million.
The Anti-Counterfeit Authority says contrabands are rampant in the Western Kenya region due to proximity to neighboring countries, cautioning Kenyans to be highly vigilant.
We are looking at the sanity, the products that we are buying. There are health and safety implications of counterfeit products. If you buy counterfeit brake pads, definitely the vehicle you cannot control. You'll get accidents. If you buy counterfeit plugs, you knock your engine, so there's no value for your money.
Perpetrators of counterfeiting face fines up to 3 times the value of the commodity and jail terms in some cases.
Toyota is complaining, NGK, they are complaining that the market share is being taken by people who are importing substandard and fake products. So that is the reason why the Counterfeit Authority is warning anybody who is involved in this trade. We are on the lookout.
Alcoholic beverages, electronics, beauty products, and farm inputs are the other highly counterfeited goods in Kenya. Reporting for Channel 1 from Kisumu County, I am Wycliffe Okech.
Thank you, Wycliffe, for that report. The completion of the 25.5 billion shillings Mwache Dam in Kwale County might be delayed as the project grapples with funding challenges. The National Assembly Committee on Water, Irrigation and Blue Economy Chairperson Kagongo Bowen says the main contractor is owed 2 billion shillings due to funding issues.
Mwache Dam was set to be completed late this year
after construction officially started in 2023. However, the National Assembly Committee on Water, Irrigation and Blue Economy chairperson says completion could be delayed as the project faces funding challenges. The National Assembly Committee on Water, Irrigation and Blue Economy says the construction of a water treatment plant and installation of distribution pipelines are still pending due to limited funds.
We can have the dam complete, but that water still cannot be utilized, cannot benefit the community when we don't have the treatment plant and the pipeline, which has not yet started.
Mache Dam's main contractor is also owed. The legislators have pledged to allocate the dam 5.8 billion shillings in the next budget for completion of the remaining works and compensation of affected landowners.
I want to assure, again, the people of Kwale, the people of Mombasa, and the locals here, that this project will not stop because of lack of finance. Because we have come here as members of parliament, and we are going to have a meeting with the Treasury to make sure that all the resources they are asking should be provided as soon as possible.
Benson Rioba reporting for Prime Edition.
Well, you're watching Channel 1, the Prime Edition, and of course, sports news is coming up next with Wahome.
In a world where news is ever changing, staying informed is more important than ever.
Join us every week on News Check, your go-to show for the latest in current affairs, breaking news and in-depth analysis.
A warm welcome to KBC News Check.
From politics to global events, we bring you content that matter to you.
We're not just speaking about the governance and how we want to see it, but want to actually participate.
Get your facts, hear from the experts, and really understand what is happening around you.
We need to change our system first.
You have to do the impossible
Yes.
to make sure the message is home.
Stay ahead, stay informed, stay engaged.
Will these people, everybody agree?
Just listen to me.
Let's give him a chance to clear the air.
Catch News Check every Tuesday and Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Only on KBC Channel 1.
A very good evening to you. My name is Daniel Wahome and welcome to Prime Edition Sport. The reigning FKF Men's Premier League champions, Kenya Police FC, narrowed the gap between them and AFC Leopards on the log following a 2-1 win over Murang'a Seal in a midweek match played today at the Police Sacco Stadium. Eric Zakayo gave Police an early lead in the 3rd minute before Victor Haki equalized for Murang'a Seal in the 37th. Abud Omar netted the winner late in the second half to seal all the important 3 points. Despite the victory, Kenya Police maintained their 3rd position on the table with 51 points, 4 behind AFC Leopards, while Gor Mahia lead with 64 points. Elsewhere, APS Bomet edged KCB Nairobi by a goal to nil, while Bandari FC were held to a 1-1 draw by Posta Rangers.
Lunga Football Academy, Mofa, Boipo Ligi daraja la pili. Captain Lucho, Awesu Ali Awesu, kwake Yves Scott Yama, Tobias, inawekwa kwake Zakayo! Gava. Price Musebe. Ataka ikokota inaletwa nje kwake Joe. Victor Haki! Victor Haki ya Kwanyi kupitia mpira kama huu. Abud Omar Hamis! Papo na papo, kamba ukata jiwe, hakuna jipya.
And from Harambee Stars players were the highlight of the iGaming Africa Charity Football Tournament, which successfully brought together sport, business and philanthropy in Nairobi. The event, which attracted gaming industry leaders, enthusiasts and corporate stakeholders, delivered on its promise of raising the funds for charitable causes across Africa while fostering meaningful partnerships within the fast-growing sector. Legendary footballers like Timothy Odera and John Bobby Ogola headlined the tournament, taking part in exhibition matches that drew significant attention from participants and fans alike.
Launch our charity project, which is an iGaming Africa charity game, and the aim for this event is to see that as a community within the gaming industry, we are able to support the society, especially with the financing of sanitization facility projects across various countries in Africa.
I think my sponsors, tunajua kushida ni ganji, watu wanaga do. Shida ni ganji, timu zingine mtu anatoa do kwa mfuko yake, kama Sofapaka tulisikia alikuwa amesema ametumia karibu do ngapi president. Ametoa do mingi sana kwa mfuko yake. Lakini ma sponsors akitokeza wasaidia watu, boli ya Kenya itainuka.
Fresh efforts to restore order in Kenya's motorsport scene are now underway after Motorsports Kenya moved to push for its formal registration following a landmark ruling by the Sports Disputes Tribunal. The Federation is now urging the Office of the Registrar of Sports to fast-track its registration process, a crucial step that will pave the way for long-awaited elections and the reorganization of the sport.
In its judgment, the tribunal found that the Kenya Motorsports Federation failed to comply with provisions of the Sports Act 2013, effectively rendering it an unrecognized entity. The ruling directed that a new compliant federation be registered to restore governance, transparency, and accountability within the sport.
What happens next is straightforward. The sports registrar must now complete the registration process without further delay. Elections will follow, membership will open to all clubs and stakeholders.
Officials from Motorsports Kenya say the delay in registration continues to stall key activities, including the formation of a substantive leadership structure through elections, as well as the coordination of national competition.
Our fight has been about governance and organization. And the first thing that we want to ensure is that we have accountability and corporate governance structures in our organization. Now, if you look at the constitution that we presented before the registrar, one of the key pillars in that constitution is a commercial commission.
We're looking forward to bringing in more ladies with the dream to drive new categories. We look forward to bringing new, young, upcoming lady drivers and bringing them up to, winning championships.
Frederick Moki for Prime Edition.
And Athletics Kenya President Lieutenant General retired Jackson Tuwei has challenged Kenyan athletes to always aim for better results at every international event as they compete to raise the country's bar. Tuwei was speaking during the opening of the first Nike shop in Kenya. The Team Kenya is set to leave this country for Accra, Ghana for the Africa Senior Athletics Championship set for the 12th to the 17th of May this year.
With one Kenyan relay team having secured a ticket to the 2027 World Championship in Beijing, the president of Athletics Kenya, retired Lieutenant General Jackson Tuwei, has challenged the next Kenyan team, who will be leaving the country this week for Ghana ahead of the Africa Senior Athletics Championship, to return home with better results.
Let's wish our athletes well. Let us pray for them. Let us also challenge them that they need to do more. And let us get out of some of these challenges like doping.
Tuwei was speaking during the opening of a first Nike shop in Kenya that Athletics Kenya and the National Olympic Committee of Kenya say will ease the logistical challenges faced by the country's federations and sportsmen and women when acquiring sportswear for competitions and training.
In the future, we are looking forward also to having a distribution store here. That equipment that belongs to National Olympic Committee
will be sent directly to Nairobi so that the athletes can benefit and don't lose time when they are waiting for shipment from the US.
Nike, they've been with us for many years, and we're happy that finally they have a store, a shop within our country. I can say that it has taken a very long time for them to have here, but this is the best time.
The shop will be one of 3 that Nike hopes to set up in 1 year's time.
We believe that the Kenyan market, or more broadly the East African market, is ready for the products that Nike has. And more importantly, as I've mentioned earlier on, we're in a position to start learning from Africa about our products and how we can adapt our products for the local consumers and what they specifically want from Nike as well.
The Kenyan team for the Africa Senior Championship will leave the country this week ahead of the 12th to 17th May Championship in Accra, Ghana.
And Kenya will be represented by 9 teams in the East African Netball Championship that is scheduled to be held from Sunday this week at the Ulinzi Sports Complex. Kenya Prisons will field a team each in the men's and women's categories, while the others include Ulinzi Swords, Kenyatta National Hospital and Red Pearls women's teams. Nairobi Swifts, Vihiga Kings and Kilifi Teachers men's teams will also take part in the one-week tournament, which will also include a veterans display where Kenya will also be represented. National Insurance Corporation of Uganda and Kampala University netball teams will be defending the women's and men's titles, respectively. Other teams from Tanzania and South Sudan have also confirmed their participation, with more expected from Rwanda, Burundi, and the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Beyond competition, the championships will provide a key platform for player development, offering athletes exposure to elite regional talent and valuable experience to boost both their careers. And English Premier League side Arsenal will know their final their opponent in the final of the UEFA Champions League tonight, when reigning champions Paris Saint-Germain face Bayern Munich in the semi-finals at the Allianz Arena. The Gunners reached their... That's the sport for tonight. Time for me to put on my Gideon boots and a khaki suit, because there's some reggae vibes coming your way. And Ms. Daniel Wahome, over to you, Brian.
Well, thank you very much indeed, Wahome. I wish I could join you, but I wouldn't tonight. And with the time coming to 21:54, we are coming to the end of the Prime Edition tonight. Thank you very much indeed for watching the nation's most trusted newscast. With me, O'Brien Kimani, Lucy Maura has been our sign language interpreter. On behalf of the entire production team, thank you very much for your time. Have a good night.
Good morning.
Good morning, Kenya.
Wake up with Good Morning Kenya, the morning show that's got it all.
We dive deep into issues shaping our country.
Youth are a voice of a nation.
What is the next step for the young people?
Unpacking political landscape from Monday to Wednesday.
We discuss family matters.
It is very important to guard your relationship.
And for your health.
Someone doesn't wake up and they become an addict. It's in stages.
We've got you covered each and every Tuesday at 9 a.m.
Every Wednesday, it's all about The Viewpoint.
A day in politics is like 1,000 years.
Unpacking the biggest stories of the week, getting you insights and getting you ready for your day.
And the package is not yet done. I get to fix your Thursday with some entertainment. Entertainment Thursday, it is.
Good morning, Kenya.
We shape your day.
Good morning, Kenya. Every weekday morning on KBC Channel 1.
Welcome back to Semana Spokes.
Semana Spokes is the platform where Wananchi engage, query the government, and the government responds. It's your time to be informed. Don't miss Bonganagava every Thursday at 8 p.m. only on KBC Channel 1.
Semana Spokes.